it's easy when you play with a bunch of rejects and fat kids, Rodriguez.
Shut your mouth, Phillips.
What'd you say, crap face? I said you shouldn't even be allowed to touch a baseball. Except for Rodriguez, you're all an insult to the game. Come on! We'll take you on right here, right now! Come on! Right now! Yeah, right now! We plan a real Diamond Porter. You ain't good enough to lick the dirt off our cleats. Watch it, jerk. Shut up, idiot. Moron! Scab eater. Butt sniffer. Pus licker. Fart smeller. You eat dog crap for breakfast, geek. You mix your weeds with your mama's toe jam. Yeah! You bob for apples in the toilet, and you like it. You play ball like a girl.
I have been desperately seeking a podcast that covers the sports movies that I love.
Some people like the sound of their own voice, you know.
That is one of the maybe 5 movies ever that even to this day, when I watch it, makes me tear up. It tugs at my feels.
What am I getting myself into?
Exactly. I'm going to make a serious argument that Little Big League belongs in the discussion for top 3 baseball movies of all time.
So you're going to make me watch it again?
Yes.
Did you say the title of the show?
I made Alicia watch a sports movie. Welcome to the first episode of I Made Alicia Watch a Sports Movie. I'm your host, Matt. Here with me, as always, is my girlfriend, Alicia.
Hi, guys.
All right, Alicia. So, we watched one of my favorite sports movies, one of my favorite baseball movies.
Yep.
A movie that I absolutely loved growing up. A movie that really kind of encapsulates part of the experience of being a young boy growing up in a small town.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah. There was, and you saw how many times in this movie I was like, oh my god, that's like so exactly what happens. So, like I said, this is one of my favorite baseball movies. I will freely admit that it's a kid's movie.
Yep.
100%, and really a boys movie.
Yes.
Not so much a girls movie at all. Really, it's a boys movie. Yeah. Hashtag me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does have one of my all-time favorite actors, baseball movie royalty, James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
For like one scene.
Yeah.
It has one of my favorite all-time comedians, Denis Leary.
Yeah, he's not very funny in this one.
No, he's not. He's playing a straight guy. He's playing a straight man. And gives us probably one of the most quotable movie lines ever for a generation or two of people.
You're killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls! Which everybody knows.
Yes.
Even if you've seen this movie or not, you knew this line and did not know where it came from.
I did.
Because the first time we watched this, the great Hambino said that line, you're like, that's where that's from!
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. So, it's 1993's The Sandlot.
Yes.
Which is freaking fantastic. Before we get into the details, just kind of give me your general thoughts on The Sandlot.
General thoughts? It's definitely a boys' movie.
Definitely a boys' movie.
I couldn't believe some of the stuff these boys did. Then again, I never grew up with brothers.
Right, you never had younger brothers.
Yeah. I never had older brothers.
Right.
So
right. And by the time you had younger brothers, first of all, you do have younger brothers,
yes,
but they are not the boys in this movie.
No, my brothers aren't like this at all.
Right.
So, and I never experienced boys growing up like this. I had male cousins, but we didn't really hang out.
And you didn't grow up in a neighborhood, right? You grew up on basically on a farm in the middle of nowhere.
I did.
So to me, this movie speaks to me because I was one of the young boys
you lived in
this
kind of setting.
I lived in this kind of small town. I had a younger brother even. Yep. I had friends who we would get together in the afternoon after school or on weekends, and we would not only play Little League, but we would also play pickup baseball.
Yes, I never experienced anything like this.
Yeah, so this movie really speaks, the pulls on my, as bad as this movie is in parts, and as dated as it gets with some of the jokes and some of the things that they got away with in 93 making this movie that they would never get away with today.
Yes, absolutely.
It still tugs at my heartstrings. It tugs at my feels.
Yeah, there are some things I should not have laughed at in this movie.
Which you did.
Which I did. There was a lot... Like, I know nothing about sports, so I was asking you a lot of sports questions during this movie.
First question, what's a pickle?
Yeah. But I did really like this movie.
Good.
If I was to rate it
We'll do that later.
Oh, okay.
We'll do ratings at the end.
Okay. So you can cut that out.
Definitely watchable.
Yes, absolutely.
I still think watchable to this day. This movie came out in 93, so it's over 25 years old.
Yep.
Personally, I still think it's worth watching.
I'd watch it again.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it makes some errors. Yes, it's a
but
little
at the time,
raunchy
it didn't make they weren't errors.
No. There were still some errors. There's some continuity errors that I think we need to talk about, but because of the story.
Yeah.
But it's geared for kids, so you don't catch the continuity errors when you're a kid. You just kind of blow right by them because
it's like that with a lot of movies.
Right, you're not thinking about it in depth. So, but looking back at it now, I'm like, wow, okay, so there are some continuity errors that I think we should discuss. But I think just in general, if you're just looking to veg out, sit on the couch, drink a beer, and watch a fun movie, this is one of the movies you can do that to. Yep. Even as an adult.
Yes.
I'm going on 40, and I still can sit down and enjoy this movie with no problem.
You're going on 40.
I am. I'm going on 40 in a couple years.
Yep.
Year and a half.
Yep.
But, all right, so let's get a little bit of the details. Yes. As we said, this was released in 1993.
Yep.
It had a budget of $7 million.
Okay.
How much do you think this movie made at the box office?
More than $7 million.
More than 7. Well, thank you for being obvious. Yes, it made more. It did make its money back and then some. It actually made $33.8 million at the U.S. box office.
Nice.
Pretty good. So it was a successful movie. It made its money back like 4 times over.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking good. There are 2 sequels that were direct to DVD. So you had the Sandlot 2, which had nobody from the original cast in it whatsoever.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Right. And then you had, just a few years ago, actually, you had the Sandlot Heading Home, which was also direct to DVD. Squints, the actor who played Squints, came back for as an adult and was in that. And it starred, the main character was an adult Luke Perry and another actor playing younger Luke Perry, who apparently was a friend or knew the kids of the Sandlot. Was
he that one that left? And
I don't know because I've never honestly seen it.
Because they were 9-1 left, and then they were down a player.
Right, so I don't know. We may have to watch the sequels for this show.
I didn't know there were sequels.
There are 2 sequels. They're not good. I've seen the Sandlot 2. There's a reason they went direct to DVD.
Okay.
I've seen the Sandlot 2. It's not really good.
Okay.
I've never seen the other one, the Sandlot Heading Home.
Right.
But I guess maybe if we want to do like a how shitty is this sports movie episode, maybe we could bust out one of those and do it. We'll see. If we're hurting to find movies, which we shouldn't ever be hurting to find sports movies because there's all sorts of sports movies out there. Yeah. Maybe we'll do the sequels. Maybe we'll do an episode where we just we combine all the sequels of The Sandlot into one episode.
We'll have to later
figure something out. In July of 2018, a prequel movie was announced. So basically a movie set in the same place and the same world, but before the Sandlot. So I don't know what that's going to be about.
I don't know if that'd be any good at this point because it has to follow more social guidelines now than it did in 93. So
yes.
As much as I love this movie and I appreciate the guidelines being there, I'm not sure if it would be just as good as The Sandlot.
It's hard to recapture the magic in a movie like The Sandlot, right? Because the movie The Sandlot really hit its time.
Yes.
Right. So growing up as a boy in the 90s when this movie came out, we had a specific kind of America at that time.
Yes.
Especially in small town America. And this movie really captured that time frame. While still portraying a time frame that was actually the 60s.
Right, yeah.
Because that's when the movie's set. So, yeah, it's kind of tough. Like I said, I don't know how great they are. Maybe we'll watch them. But yeah, there's a prequel that's coming out. And I have no idea what it is. I don't know if maybe it's the parents, the fathers of all the kids who were actually also friends when they were kids and played this. I don't know. I don't know what it actually is.
I don't know.
I don't know if anybody from the original cast is in it.
I don't know if that would work because a lot of them had moved to the area, so there's no way the parents were friends when they were kids.
That's true. Well, as far as we know...
Right.
The only one we know that moved to the area was Scotty Smalls.
Right.
The other ones were already friends, so we don't know. They all moved away eventually.
Yeah.
But it's possible that they all already lived there except for Scotty.
Right.
That's entirely possible. And then there also is... I saw no time frame on this, but Wikipedia has listed that there is an original cast TV series in the works. So think like the Cobra Kai, which is Daniel LaRusso and Johnny from Karate Kid, who now have a TV show together on YouTube Red.
Yeah.
Where they play like the older adult versions of themselves.
Yeah.
That are teaching karate.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we're probably looking somewhere along that line where like the kids from the Sandlot are like coaching their kids' little league teams or something. It's probably like the TV series.
Interesting.
But so supposedly it's some of the original cast members, if not all the original cast members. The kids coming back.
All right.
So we'll see if that ever comes to fruition. If it does, maybe we'll have to watch an episode or two of that and see what it's all about.
Yeah.
It could be interesting. You never know.
I don't know.
Yeah. But, all right. Let's see. On to some of the cast.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to quickly go through the kids.
Okay.
Because literally, they've all gone on to do pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Like, none of them have really, like, I think, like, Squints was in the show Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Like, just a couple of things here and there. So, let's see. We have Tom Gyrie, who plays Smalls, Scotty Smalls.
Yeah.
We have Mike Vitar, who plays Benny, Benjamin Franklin Rodriguez. We have Patrick Renna, who plays Ham. We have Chauncey Leopoldi, who plays Squints. We have Marty York, who plays Yeah Yeah. We have Brandon Adams, who plays De Nunez. We have Grant Gelt, who plays Weeks, the tall, nerdy kid. Mm-hmm. We have Shane Obedzinski, who plays younger brother Tommy. And then we have Victor DiMattia, who plays younger brother Timmy. Okay. The twins. The annoying twins.
Now, are they twins or are they older and younger brothers?
I think they're older and younger, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I don't remember exactly, but...
But I'll consider them twins because they're annoying as fuck.
Yeah. And then it's really the adults in this movie who are actually known.
Yeah.
Not super huge stars, but pretty well known.
Well, one of them is.
One of them is. One of them is baseball movie royalty. So we'll get to him. He's actually down on the list. Stepdad Bill, who is Scotty Smalls' stepdad, is played by one of my favorite comedians, No Cure for Cancer, Rescue Me, Mr. Denis Leary, who's fantastic. Great song, I'm an Asshole. I like Denis Leary. I like Denis Leary a lot. He's hilarious. He's also like a product of that time, though. Like his brand of humor really doesn't play as well now.
Yeah.
Because it's very politically incorrect.
Yes, it is.
Let's see. So Scotty's mom is actually played by Karen Allen. Yeah. Who you may know as Marion from the Indiana Jones movies.
Yes. So
she was in Raiders of the Lost Ark and the most recent one that doesn't count as a movie in the Indiana Jones movies, Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls.
Why doesn't it count?
Because it's not good.
Okay.
It made the mistake of introducing Shia LaBeouf to the Indiana Jones movies. And so I thought that they were going to make Shia LaBeouf like the next Indiana Jones.
And it didn't work.
That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. There's no way Shia LaBeouf could take over for Harrison Ford.
Nope.
Just couldn't happen.
No. Maybe if they pick someone better.
Yeah. I mean, more power to Shia LaBeouf, but I'm sorry. You already ruined Transformers. Yep. Don't go trying to ruin Indiana Jones as well.
Yeah.
Like, just keep Shia LaBeouf away from my childhood movies.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. One more... Well, I got two more notable casts. One is just personally notable. So, the person who plays grown-up Scotty, the sports announcer, is a young guy or an older whatever, whose name is Arliss Howard. Who he plays Cowboy, Private Cowboy, in Full Metal Jacket. Which I actually made you watch the first half of not too long ago.
Right.
So he plays Private Cowboy, who gets killed at the Battle of Way.
Yeah.
After graduating from Marine Corps School. And we'll get into it later because I got a little headcanon theory about one of the boy characters and another character from Full Metal Jacket.
Right.
And so we'll get there. That's towards the end when we find out where they are now.
Yeah.
And then the last adult character that I really want to go over is Mr. Myrtle.
Yes.
Who is played by the legendary baseball movie god, James Earl Jones.
Right, yeah.
Who you know mostly as the voice of Darth Vader.
Yes.
Luke, I am your father, whatever the fuck he says. I know him as Terrence Mann from Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
I know him from this movie as Mr. Myrtle. It's the great voice, the gravitas, the presence of James Earl Jones. He's only in this movie literally for 5 minutes. Just 2 scenes, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's James Earl Jones. You can't go wrong.
Right. I love his smile.
Yeah. Oh, you can just tell when he's talking to the boys about baseball, just how passionate he is about baseball.
Yeah.
The way he's smiling, and even though he went blind playing baseball, and just like just the passion he has for talking about it, and the time that he actually got to spend playing it, just absolutely amazing. All right. This movie gave us 2 quotable lines. 2 really big quotable lines.
Yep.
You know the first one. We've already mentioned
killing
it.
Me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls. It's T-shirts, it's memes, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
The other one is kind of insulting, but every boy at this time would yell it at other boys. You know what I'm talking about?
You play like a girl.
You play ball like a girl. And you can even tell because when he says that, even his friends are like, oh shit.
Yeah, you went too far with that, buddy.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Totally cool. Yeah, those are the 2 real quotable lines from this. There are a few other ones, but those are the 2 that have really hung on in our daily lexicon. Like, I say there are like a couple movie lines that I repeat like on a regular basis for different situations in life. You're killing me, Smalls is one of them.
Yes.
Even to this day. The other one that I really do is negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full from Top Gun.
Yes.
So, yep, absolutely. So those are the 2 quotable lines from this movie. They're both really good. The one is really hung on. The other one's really offensive now, and you can't really say it because girls get offended when you say it. And to be honest, I went to college with some really incredible softball players who were way better at baseball/softball than I was. Before we jump into the movie and start doing the rundown, we're going to play the trailer.
I know you're smart, and I'm proud of you. I want you to make some friends this summer.
Meet Scotty Smalls.
Kale, get it! The kid is a L7 weenie. My life's over.
Man, this is baseball. You gotta stop thinking. You just have fun.
Climb trees, hop fences, get into trouble.
Just stand there and stick your glove out in the air. I'll take care of it.
Now he's in.
Yeah! All right!
With the coolest guys in the neighborhood. They've got the look.
Wendy Peppercorn. Wow. Hey, girls.
They've got the moves. They've got the rap.
Blockhead. Geek. Jerk. Idiot. Moron. You bob for apples in the toilet. And you like it. You play ball like a girl.
I got it!
Oh, no.
But something else has got their ball.
That wasn't my ball.
Dad's father gave it to him. Babe Ruth signed that ball.
Babe Ruth! We gotta get that ball back.
Got any bright ideas?
Initiate retrieval section number 1. Power connect. Come on, help me. It's heavy. Now. Fire! You gotta block! There he is! Mommy, look, a doggy. Ooh, a big doggy.
20th Century Fox presents
Hey guys, it's the Sandlot babies.
You're the ones that making all that racket.
A Lifetime of Adventure.
Come on, Squid, you can do it! Pull through, bud! You little pervert!
The Sandlot. A little piece of paradise, a half a block wide, and a whole season long.
Scotty, have you made any friends yet?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom.
All right, so let's get into the rundown of the movie here.
Yep.
Let's talk about it. All right, so our opening scene is a weird-looking dude in a weird outfit walking through some halls. and heading up to a announcer's booth overlooking a professional baseball stadium that's getting prepared for a game that day.
Is that what that was?
Yes. So that was older Scotty walking up to his announcer's booth because he's going to call that day's, remember, it bookends with before that game.
Yep.
He's looking out over the fielders are getting ready for it. He's got the tarp on it still. They're raking the dirt. They're mowing the grass.
Okay.
Getting ready for that night game. And then it'll end with that scene with Benny as a pro player later on.
I didn't realize that was Scotty.
Yep. So that's older Scotty. That's the guy who played Private Cowboy.
Okay.
In Full Metal Jacket a few years before this.
All right.
Yep. So that's where we start. And then we get older Scotty doing a voiceover of this, talking about...
As the narrator.
As narrating the greatest moment in baseball history, which is the World Series where Babe Ruth called his shot.
And he really did this.
Yeah, now you asked me specifically if this actually happened, and yes.
Yes, because I know nothing about the history of
baseball. So
baseball.
Babe Ruth called his shot and hit a monstrous home run that he had called. And as older Scotty says... Before that, he was a hero.
Yep.
But after that, he became a legend.
Yep.
That was what made him a legend. And this movie relies heavily on the fact that Babe Ruth is basically an immortal, almost god. Like later on, Benny will call him less than a god, but more than a man.
Yeah.
Like Hercules.
Yeah. Like
Hercules. Like Hercules.
Yeah.
So, yep. And then we cut right out of that as the voiceover's still going, and we get a baseball game being played either at recess or on lunch outside of the local school.
Yes.
And Benny the Jet Rodriguez is batting.
Yep.
And he cracks a monster shot.
Yep.
Now, there's no fence here, so it's not a home run.
Right.
But he's legging it out, and he's chugging and chugging and chugging. He rounds third. Mm-hmm. And then the other team gets the ball, throws it into home, and Benny gets caught up in a pickle.
Yes.
At between third and home.
Yep. And this is where I was like, wait, what the hell's a pickle?
What's a pickle?
Yes.
And so I explained that a pickle is when you're caught between two players, basically playing monkey in the middle, with you, the runner, in between them, and you're trying to avoid being tagged out.
Yep.
And we get a whole bunch of other kids from the bench. They come
running up to the line.
We don't know who they are yet.
No.
Although I will say, man, was Ham dressed like a fucking nerd. He's got like khaki slacks on with like this like old school fucking like I'm going to Princeton button up the front sweater.
Yep.
Like, and he's playing baseball in this.
Well, he's at school. He's got to be dressed a little more nicely than he is during the summer.
Well, I guess, but they spend a lot of time picking on Smalls for the way he dresses.
They all dress funny.
And then he's wearing this?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he dresses like a normal boy after this during summer vacation, but still.
Yeah. Well, see, my question in this scene was, all the kids ran up to the line and they were yelling pickle and they were yelling encouragement for Benny.
Yep.
Now, I've watched a few baseball games in my time, not a lot, but are the players allowed to run up to the line to be
this is an unorganized game, right? This is just a pickup game.
Yeah.
So pretty much you can kind of do whatever you want, right? There's no like rules of conduct or anything like that.
Yeah.
In a Little League game, like an actual sanctioned Little League game, no, you can't. In a semi-pro game, like AA, AAA, single A, college, high school, no, you can't.
Okay.
In a professional game, no, you can't. You gotta stay in the dugout.
Okay.
So no, technically no, but they're just playing pickup baseball.
Yeah.
So that's why. And I have a special place in my heart for pickup baseball because I grew up, I did play Little League. I did play for the school for modified. Mm-hmm. But the most fun I ever had playing baseball was just with like my group of friends, and we would get as many of us together as we could, and we would just play baseball. Mm-hmm. And that was so much fun. So I understand why.
I never had that experience because I lived in the middle of nowhere. I was 5 miles from the nearest grocery store. All my friends lived on the other side of town.
Right.
And we weren't a sports centered group of kids.
Right.
So like the most we did was we like played dodgeball in the backyard or something. We mostly played manhunt.
We played manhunt, but our big things, we played a lot of tennis. Mm-hmm. We played a lot of basketball. Mm-hmm. We played a lot of touch football.
Yeah.
And we played a lot of baseball.
Yeah, I played sports because my parents thought it would make me a better human being, I guess.
Which I think is true.
I wasn't really a sports person, though. And I'm still not a sports
not.
person. So
yeah. Although you are known to have the occasional catch with me in the backyard.
Yeah.
You do that
That's
once in a
like
while.
the most.
You've got your own glove now.
Yeah. But that's like the most I'll do.
Yep.
There's not a lot of people who will, so.
Yeah. But, yeah.
To lose your childhood kind of sucks when you're an adult and you just want to be a kid.
Yeah. Well, it's also hard looking back and remembering. It's like, man, I wish I still had, a bunch of friends around who wanted to play pickup baseball. It just sounds like fun, And it was a ton of fun back then to do that. And so that's one of the reasons why that movie tugs at my feels.
Yeah. Because
it just reminds me so much of that. And the trouble that we would get into, and just the fun little side adventures that we would have. We never did anything, none of these specific things happened, but some of them ring very true, like the public pool.
Yeah.
We would go to the public pool as a bunch of friends as well, type of thing.
Never did that.
Yeah, so, we did all these things. So that's why this movie pulls my feels. It's like my experience growing up in small town.
None of this rings with me.
Yeah.
So, the county fair.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, that was even more that was more like town fair. Back when little towns would have their own fairs.
They did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Sydney used to do it too.
I don't know. My town always had the county fair.
Right. Well, your town, the county fair is in your town. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now Benny does score from the pickle. He manages to break it out and scores a run. And then we cut away from that to him and Ham walking home through a nice little 50s looking neighborhood. Lots of trees, old cars, nice looking houses with the manicured lawns. And they pass our hero, or our protagonist, because I think Benny's our hero.
Benny's the hero.
But Scotty's our protagonist.
Yes.
And so they pass our protagonist, who is moving into his new house and his new town with 2 weeks left in the school year.
Yeah, who moves their kids 2 weeks before the school's out?
That sucks so bad.
I understand the point of it sucking because now you're going to have a summer where you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
But who moves their kids 2 weeks before school's out? Why not just wait the 2 weeks, let them finish their school year?
Yeah.
And then move. So
I could have understood if, say, Bill were in the military, right? Because they get moved around and there's nothing that they can do about it. You get moved to a different command, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
But Bill's not. Bill's a businessman.
Yeah.
And so, and it's not like they moved there to be with Bill because him and Scotty's mom have already been married for a year.
Yeah.
So they just chose to move here at this specific time, I guess maybe because Bill got a promotion at work or something, I would assume.
So he can go in and then they can follow in 2 weeks.
That's my thoughts, but it sets up, I know, it sets up the story though.
Yeah.
That he's the new kid in town and he has no friends.
But he gets an extra 2 weeks of summer vacation, right?
Because he's got to go, I'm assuming he has to go to school.
For the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, you just transfer your grades over.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. But anyway, so Scotty sees Benny walking by and eagerly waves at him hi, you look like a kid who's about my age.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he doesn't look anything like these other kids' ages. These other kids look like they're 10, 11, 12. Benny's like a 18-year-old man.
I don't think he's 18.
I know, just...
Yeah, I think Benny's more like 15, 14, 15.
Yeah.
He's much taller and he looks like he's got a few growth spurts on these kids.
Yeah, there's a scene later on where he's got an open baseball shirt on with a wife beater under it, and he's got a fucking six-pack.
Yeah.
So, he's not a 12-year-old like these other kids, 10, 11, 12 years old. He looks like he's the kid who, the ignored moms in the neighborhood look at and are like, oh, he can come clean my pool.
Oh my God.
It's Benny the pool boy.
Oh my God. Benny's got more important things to think about, though. His life is baseball.
Baseball is life, dude.
All day, every day is baseball.
He's the dude of baseball, right? So instead of bowling is life, it's baseball is life.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And he's good at it, too.
Oh, he's incredibly good. Super good. Well, he ends up being a pro player, so yeah. He's really good. But, so he's walking by. Scotty's, waving at him, somebody around my age. How's it going? Yeah. And Benny just, looks at him, gives him the bro nod, and just keeps walking into his house, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But
well, he doesn't know him.
Right, he doesn't know him. But we're going to get back to Benny because Benny might be like the nicest kid in the history of kids.
Yeah.
Which is great. So
yeah, because not a lot of sports kids are nice kids.
No, which is...
in my experience.
Which is also why I think Benny plays on a pickup team and not for like the organized Little League team. Or
the team we meet later.
The douches, I like
because I think those are Benny's age group.
Probably. And they're like the school team or the local little travel Little League team. Yeah. Yeah. But the douches, they're the Tigers, but I call them the douches.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So yeah, that's our scene there. I love the dude nod because I mean that's it.
The dude nod or the bro nod?
The bro nod, dude nod is the same thing. It's just like somebody waves, just like sup. You just get that little slight nod back as you go sup. Like that. That's it. Yeah. Yep. And that's Benny. I love it because that's totally
I still see people doing that today.
Totally. I still do it.
Yeah, I know you still do
I do it to this day. And that's what Benny would do, is he would give you the bro nod. Not wave to you, because he's not a waver. No, he's like, sup. Yeah. It's cooler. Way cooler than a wave back.
Yeah, okay.
Way cooler. All right, so our next scene is our first baseball scene involving Smalls. Mm-hmm. It doesn't go well. No. So... Smalls goes sneaky commando style and like sneaks into the outfield of the Sandlot where these kids play ball. And there's 8 of them.
Now, is this before or after we meet his stepdad?
So we haven't met Bill yet.
I think we did. Well, we meet
Bill. I kind of just gloss over it because it's like a very little, it's like a little minor thing, right? The next scene with Bill where he's actually convinced to play catch is better.
Yeah, this scene though, I had one question about it. Who the fuck marries, maybe it's just the more modern times in my head, but who marries someone without letting their kids actually get to know and get comfortable around their partner first?
So here's my thing. I think that they knew each other for plenty of time. It seems like Scotty and Bill know each other, but what it seems like to me is that Scotty and Bill are 2 different kinds of people, right? So Scotty is, as we'll see in the next scene, uber nerd, likes to play with his erector sets.
Yes.
Doesn't play sports, doesn't really have friends, reads books. Like, he's not like a guy's guy as a kid. Bill, however, huge baseball and sports fan.
Yeah, he's got a man
cave trophy room. Yeah, he's got autographed baseballs. He's got trophies. He's got pennants. I'm assuming some of those trophies are even his from like when he was a kid, or
he's
maybe
got a baseball signed by Babe Ruth.
Baseball signed by Babe Ruth that we'll get to. Yep. Hang on, put a pin in that. That's going to become very important in this movie. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't think that it's a matter of them not having a chance to get to know each other.
Right.
Because I have a feeling that Bill and his mom, I have a feeling they dated for quite a while. Remember, this was the 50s.
Right. I know. In the 50s, you got married and you didn't give a shit what your kids thought about
No, that's not even what I'm saying. Because you say that, they didn't give him a chance to get comfortable. But I still think there's almost always, especially when the 2 people are incredibly different.
Right.
Just think of it if, your younger brother, Matt, were... say your nephew instead. Mm-hmm. And I were then his uncle. Right? We are very different type of people. And we get along just fine. We know each other well, but there's always going to be a little distance because we're opposite ends of the spectrum of people. Mm-hmm. I'm more of the outdoorsy sports, my nerdy thing is sports and things like that. His nerdy thing is fantasy stuff, your family. And he's even very different than your dad. Your dad is a
technical person.
Well, he's a technical person, but he's also into martial arts and things like that your brother isn't necessarily into.
Right.
And so those things do cause a little bit of a distance. No matter how well you know a person.
Right.
If you are that different from another person, there's always going to be a bit of a distance there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and they haven't really, and they haven't had a big bonding thing. Again, because they're different and they bond over different things.
Yeah.
But they get that bonding thing.
But he wants to bond with them over
He does, and it's hard to do sometimes because Bill doesn't do the things that Smalls does. And Smalls doesn't do the things that Bill does.
Right.
So it's hard to find that thing to bond over.
Right. Well, see,
But
Smalls is trying to bond with him by getting him to play baseball, and he's always like,
but he never asks him, "Can we go play now?"
Yeah, he says, "Can you eventually?"
Right, and that's the thing. Like, if your brother were like that, hey, you remember how you said you would teach me to throw a football? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, yeah, we'll do that sometime. No problem. And then I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing until he's like, hey, can we go throw the football? Can we go throw the football? I'm like, oh yeah, let's go do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? It's like if you want to get somebody's attention and have them do something, just ask them. Right. And I think that that's an important thing that we're talking about.
Kids don't do that a lot.
And I think that that's what it's showing, is that kids don't do that. And that's where that distance is maintaining.
A good point.
Because the kid doesn't do, right, this is a lesson that the kid has to learn from his mom, is if you want something, ask for it.
Right.
And that's what happens. Is his mom says, Bill, fucking go do it now.
Yeah.
And that's what, and then they do.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing.
So, I don't think it's anything like they didn't have time to get to know each other. They're just different people.
Okay.
And there's just this distance. And by the end of the movie, they're very well bonded over an incredible baseball.
Yeah.
So, and he says at the end, I had no problem from that point on calling Bill Dad.
Yeah.
So they needed that one bonding moment.
Yeah.
And then they eventually got it. So it's all good. Yeah. All right. So after we meet Bill, then we go sneaky commando style to the outfield of the Sandlot. And the other kids are playing baseball, and Smalls is fucking in awe of these kids.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, they were so good. And so we got 8 players, including Benny.
Yep.
And I think it's Benny who ends up hitting a ball out to the outfield.
Yeah, because Benny needs to practice hitting.
Right. So it's a fly ball.
Yep.
And it's coming right at Smalls. And the other kids yell, watch out! And then Smalls, looks up, and we go to his point of view, and he, puts his glove up, and, the ball,
he closes his eyes.
Closes his eyes. The ball, smashes off his glove, knocks him over.
Yeah.
And, everybody except for Benny just is, rolling on the ground laughing.
Yeah.
And then it gets even worse.
Yes.
Because then Scotty goes and picks up the ball.
Yep.
And they're throw it in. So then we get a 20 minutes of Scotty trying to position his feet and his body correctly to throw this ball.
Well, he doesn't know how to play.
He doesn't know how to throw, supposedly.
Yeah.
So we get 20 minutes of him trying to position his feet properly.
And all the other kids are picking on him.
Absolutely.
Except for Benny.
And then finally he throws the ball. About 3 feet in front of him.
So he lobs it. Yeah.
So he
doesn't even make it to second base.
No, he doesn't even make it to the grass. He's in the dirt, way out in the dirt by the fence, and he doesn't even make it to the grass.
Yeah.
With this throw. It literally goes 4 or 5 feet in front of him. And everybody again falls to the ground laughing except for Benny. And Scotty goes, my life is over, and fucking runs away.
Yeah.
Through the fence. Poor Scotty. Now, with today's sensibilities, a lot of people are going to be like, those fucking asshole kids. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I'm sorry. That's how boys were. Mm-hmm. That's how boys have always been.
And that's probably how they always will be.
Exactly. Because boys are boys. Boys are very competitive. Mm-hmm. And if you're not into their thing, then they're going to pick on you for it. And they did.
Yeah.
And does it suck to be Scotty? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think there's anything wrong with the boys doing that? No. I'm sorry. Just the way it is. You can call it bullying if you want, but that's what boys do. Boys have always done that. We all dealt with it growing up as boys.
Deal with it as girls, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I tried to play baseball when I was about Scotty's age. Did not end well.
Didn't go well.
I was the loser girl on the baseball team with all the popular boys.
Right, because your town was so small
yes.
that you didn't have softball.
Yes.
So here in...
Not till high school.
Right, so here, when we had Little League, we had Little League baseball for the boys and Little League softball for the girls. Because there were enough girls to do softball.
Yep.
So your town was so small that there was only a few girls, so you just kind of got folded into the boys' teams to play baseball. Yeah.
Yep, until we joined high school, and then there was
a
teams.
softball team. Yep. Right, yeah. Yep.
Did not end well.
Didn't go well.
I missed a lot of practice, and when my mom finally decided that I had to go back, I showed up, and it was the first game of the season, so I didn't even play.
Yeah.
And I was mortified.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I don't blame you. Yeah, it's rough.
Traumatized.
Kids are tough.
Kids are horrible.
Yeah, kids are tough. Now, one other thing does happen in this scene that we should mention is that while Scotty's in the outfield, there's like this like loud banging and roaring and a giant like Tyrannosaurus Rex shadow behind the fence. We have no idea what this thing is yet, but there's like some kind of fucking monstrous giant thing.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad tractor.
Yeah, exactly. Which you know all about.
Yeah.
All right, so after that, we get later that night. And Smalls is in his room, and he's putting the finishing touches on an erector set concoction.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, erector set was amazing. I had some as a kid. Lincoln Logs and erector set. Fucking cool.
Had Lincoln Logs.
Cool as hell.
See, these days now people make their own erector sets where they make the giant thing through their house with all the dominoes and all the rolling balls and all those videos they post on YouTube.
I don't watch those videos. I'll take your word for it, though.
They get shared on Facebook a lot.
Yeah, I don't see them.
That's all right.
But, yeah. So he makes this little erector set thing, and he's got like basically a ball bearing. And it's going like up out the robot's mouth and like down the loops and twisties and turnies, and it gets dropped into a catapult.
Yeah.
And then the catapult fires, and just as the catapult fires, his mom opens the door.
Yeah.
And walks in and gets clunked right between the eyes with the little ball bearing. Yeah. From his erector set.
Should have hurt more than it looked like it did.
Because that was a pretty big ball bearing that she got clunked with.
Yeah, and it's freaking metal.
Yeah. Well, it's a ball bearing. Of course it's metal.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been just ow.
Right.
Keep going. That would have actually hurt if it was real metal.
Yep. So this is Karen Allen, again, Marion from the Indiana Jones movies.
Yep.
And so she says, Scotty, have you made any friends? I'm assuming it's been somewhere in the ballpark of a week or two. I'm assuming we're after school is done now because it was the middle of the day and the kids were at the Sandlot.
Right.
So I'm assuming we've gone through 2 or 3 weeks of time since he's moved into the neighborhood.
Right.
And she asked him, have you made any friends yet?
Not a lot of time to make friends when you didn't really get time to even settle in school.
Right. And so she says, I don't want you shut up in here in your room playing with your erector set all summer like you did last year. So obviously the whole excuse of, well, I'm brand new to the area, so I'm not going to make any friends. Isn't going to work because he apparently did the same thing last summer.
Right.
And didn't make any friends in the town that he grew up in.
Right.
So obviously it's the going out and playing and making friends that's the problem, not the I'm just new to the area.
Right.
So, yeah. So mom calls this bullshit and says, I want you to go out, play,
get in trouble,
get dirty, and get in some trouble. Not too much, but get in some trouble. And she goes, how many moms do you think tell their sons to go get in trouble? He's like, none, moms, I guess.
Well, he does get in a little bit of trouble because later on they get banned from the pool.
Oh, he gets into some serious trouble.
Yeah.
Gets into some serious trouble going on, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty cool of mom. I'm appreciative of that.
Yeah. That's a cool mom.
Yeah, cool mom. Yep. Marion is a cool mom. Which means, I guess, Scotty grows up to be Shia LaBeouf or whatever. Whatever. All right. So the next morning, I'm assuming probably the next morning.
Yeah.
Scotty heads into the kitchen, and his mom's like, well, did you ask Bill to play catch with you? So we're back to this.
Yep.
And he says, well, he's busy right now, Mom. I talked to him, but he's busy. Now, do you think that Scotty had just asked him again to play catch, or did he just tell his mom that he did?
I think he just told his mom.
I think so, too. I think he didn't bother asking.
Yeah.
I think he saw that Dad was busy working on something and didn't bother asking.
And he keeps going back between saying Dad
Dad or Bill, yeah. He goes back and forth, right?
Yeah. What do I call you?
Which I get.
You know?
I get that.
Yeah,
I understand that.
When I was getting accustomed to my mom having been remarried, even though I knew him for a while, I still went between calling him his name and calling him Dad.
Yeah, John or Dad. Yeah.
Eventually, he's just Dad.
Correct. Yep. Yeah,
So.
it takes time.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, that's the whole thing. It just takes time. Like, I don't think it was rushing into anything on the mom's part. It just takes time for people to bond.
Right.
So, and people bond at different speeds. Like, a different kid might have bonded with Bill very quickly.
Right.
Because they might have been more alike.
Right.
You know, so it's just a matter of timing and things that happen and what goes on.
Yeah.
But so Mom says, go ask him. Tell him you want to play catch now. Mm-hmm. So Scotty's like, fine, Mom, I'll fucking do it. So he goes out.
Doesn't exactly do it.
Well, I mean, he's like, so once again, he's like, Bill, Dad, Bill, Dad, Bad, Bill, Dad.
When you have time.
When you have time, can you, like, you promise show me how to play catch? And Bill's like, of course, yes, no problem, I will.
When I have time.
Yep. And so Scotty's like, okay, thanks, and starts to walk away. Then Mom comes out. And then Mom lays down the mom hammer, or actually the wife hammer.
Yeah.
Where she's like, Bill, couldn't you show him now?
Can't you take half an hour? It's not going to kill you.
He's like, I'm working, honey. Like, I'm under the gun. So he's a workaholic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's a bad dad. I don't think he's a bad guy. He's a workaholic dad.
Yeah.
Which a lot of guys, right? So this is a time when the dad was the only breadwinner.
Yeah.
In the house, for the most part, for almost every family. And so his job was critical to their being able to eat and shit.
Yep.
So most dads were workaholics at this time. Now both parents are workaholics.
Yep.
But so she's like, how long could it possibly take? You can't spare a half an hour?
Yeah.
Now, first of all, judging by this kid's skills, it's going to take a while.
It's going to take more than half an hour.
But
absolutely.
Denis Leary's like, okay, fine. We'll go. Let's go do it. Let me grab my glove.
Yep.
So he goes and grabs his glove, and Scotty goes and grabs his plastic baseball mitt.
Yeah.
This thing's ridiculous.
It's like came out of a cereal box or something.
Yeah,
plastic.
this thing is definitely like the Dakota ring of baseball gloves. Absolutely. So
it's a baby glove.
Yeah. So they're playing catch.
Or they're trying.
Bill's throwing the ball. He throws it, and Scotty misses it, and throws it, and Scotty misses it. Can't catch it. So
he doesn't throw it back to him.
No, you're right. Yeah. So tell us. So what does Scotty do when he picks up the ball after not catching it? The first time he does what?
The first time he rolls it like a bowling ball.
Rolls it back to him.
Yeah, like he's got good form if he was bowling. But this isn't bowling, honey. This is baseball.
There's no bowling in baseball.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the look on his stepdad's face is hilarious.
Oh my god,
like,
Denis Leary
are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, Denis Leary has such a great what the fuck face.
Yeah.
Like, some women have a perfect resting bitch face. Denis Leary has the perfect resting what the fuck face.
Yep, and one of the kids he plays baseball with later does it too.
Yes.
The black kid.
Yes, De Nunez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the first time he rolls it back. And then he misses it again and picks it up. And what does he do this time to get the ball back to Dad?
He walks it back to him.
Fucking walks it over and places it in his glove.
Yeah.
To which we get another Denis Leary, what the fuck look.
Well, maybe Dennis should show him how to throw the ball.
Well, so here's the thing, right? So Dennis has only been married to his mom for a year.
Yeah.
And then they probably dated for maybe 6 months to a year before that.
Yeah.
So he's probably only known Scotty for 2 years.
Yeah.
By that time, Scotty would have been 9 or 10.
Yep.
So I would assume, especially in this era, that by 9 or 10, Scotty already knows how to catch and throw.
He should.
He should definitely.
But his dad wasn't in the picture beforehand. His dad died or something. And
right, his dad died
there was
when
no
he was
one
very
to
young.
teach him.
So there was no one to teach him. Exactly.
And his mom knows some about baseball, but not enough to teach him how to play.
Grown girl.
Yeah, a grown girl, not a woman. She's a grown fucking girl.
So, yeah.
They're only women if they're sexually attracted to them, but if they're not, then they're grown girls.
Right, yep, exactly. And, yeah, so, like, I don't blame Denis Leary for not understanding that this kid doesn't know how to catch and throw. Because if you're, like, a new dad, like...
You don't know what
I don't remember,
like,
I don't even remember how young I was when I learned how to catch and throw. So, like, in my mind, at my age, I've just always been able to catch and throw and hit. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't remember how young I was when I learned how to do those things, or what a process it was to learn how to do those things. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I've just always been able to do it.
Right.
So, like, if I ever have a son, like, I'm gonna have to, like, try to imagine what it was like to not know how to do it in order to teach them to do it.
Right.
And I think
it's like
that's
teaching me.
And I think it's, like, a hard thing, because, like, and, like, I'll do it with you, too, where it's, like, you just, like, move your glove to where the ball is. Like, why isn't this like a natural thing? Just, like, the ball's going there, you move your glove there. Like, it just makes sense. Like, when you're throwing the ball, like, when your hand is pointing towards me, you'll let go of the ball. Like, seems pretty simple.
Yeah. It's not that simple.
But it's not that simple. And so I don't blame Bill for not being good at teaching him how to do this.
Right.
Now, I think that maybe Benny who does teach him to catch and throw later on. Maybe because of how young Benny is, it's easier for him to teach because he might he's young enough. He might remember a time when he was learning how to do it,
or he may have taught some of the other guys,
or he might have taught some of the other kids. Exactly. So yeah.
Which, if that's the case, none of the other kids should be laughing at Scotty. But
right?
Because everyone starts.
But again,
somewhere.
that's how boys are.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and even grown boys do this shit. Like, you've seen me with, okay, so for instance, one of our bowling friends, John, how much did we used to rag on each other and bust each other's balls at the bowling alley when we were bowling?
Every night.
At least 1,000 times a night.
Yeah.
When we went bowling.
Every night.
It's just
if you didn't do it, then somebody was in a bad mood.
Right, yeah. Like, it's just the way boys are. Any boys of any age. Yep. Doesn't matter how old we are. It's just the way we are. The way we are.
Yep.
All right. So Denis Leary, Bill says, okay, keep your eye on the ball. This is the most important rule of catching. Keep your eye on the ball. Now, Scotty misinterprets this as keep the ball on your eye because the next throw, he catches it with his glove.
Right in his eye.
Right in his eye. Just crack, smack, right in the eye.
Yeah. So
we're treated to Denis Leary, bring him in to the kitchen and slap him just like a big fucking T-bone steak right on his face.
His mom's like, that was for dinner.
Which, I mean, fine. So it's dinner mixed with the tears of a young child. That's good enough. Close enough. Whatever. But yeah, so he's got a big fucking shiner, but like, Denis Leary's like, the steak, it'll go black and blue, but it won't swell because we got a steak on it fast enough, so it's
keep it on there for an hour.
Right, keep it on there for an hour, and then we'll grill it up. No problem.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and then Scotty tells his Mom, it's okay. Look, I was just taking my eye off the ball. It's okay. And then Denis Leary, being the fucking guy that I would be too, was like, hey, at least you caught it.
Yeah.
And that would be my dad. That is what he would have done.
That'll be you.
Yes, that would be me as well, yes. But that would be what my dad would have said. At least you caught the ball.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious. All right, so then we cut to, I'm thinking later that day because I don't think his clothes have changed.
No, I think it's the same day, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's later that afternoon.
A knock comes at the door.
Nope, he's outside sitting on steps.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And he's got his crazy, ridiculous fishing hat on. He's
and
wearing,
his broken baseball glove.
And his broken plastic baseball mitt.
Yeah.
And so this is another scene that pulls at my feels.
Why?
Because this is where Scotty gets his first real baseball glove.
Okay.
So Benny comes over, because Benny's his neighbor, across the street, kitty corner is where Benny lives.
Yep.
And so he's on his way to go to the Sandlot to play. He remembers who Scotty is from the fiasco in the outfield a couple days ago.
Yep.
And so he stops by and he says, hey, we're going to go play ball. Do you want to come? Benny, first of all, hard fucking goal on this kid.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to be inviting, the neighborhood square to come fucking play baseball.
Is that what that is?
L7 weenie, because it makes a square. Now on a 7, make a square. Yes, that's what L7 weenie means. Yes, L7 square. Oscar Mayer even. But yeah, so Benny's and so Scotty gives him every excuse in the book why he can't go. Yeah. I could, but my glove's broken.
Yeah.
So this is some little plastic toy mitt that his grandma had given him when he was 6.
Yeah.
First of all, why didn't Grandpa teach him how to play baseball?
Maybe Grandpa died not long after.
Maybe, or maybe Grandpa was already dead. Who knows? Maybe Grandpa died in Korea or something. Who knows?
Who knows?
If Grandpa were around, Grandpa should have taught him how to play baseball. One of his grandparents should have.
Well, it didn't happen.
But his glove is broken. The webbing is busted. And it doesn't really have webbing. It has another plastic piece that's tied in with shitty plastic strings. Yeah. It's not even real leather and cowhide.
Yeah, it could be zip ties and it would be sturdier than that.
And I think, Benny seems like this could go one of two ways. So Benny either seems like the kid who brings his extra glove with him just in case somebody needs it, or in case something happens to his primary glove that he needs a backup. Or he saw how shitty Smalls' glove was the other day, and was like, I need to bring him a glove that he needs to use.
I think that's the case because he didn't have it with him last time.
Okay, so you're thinking, okay.
I'm thinking he knew that he was going to need a glove.
Right. And also because he brings a spare hat as well, which he'll give to Smalls later on. But so, yeah, I think you're right. I think that he specifically brought his old glove to let Smalls use it.
Yeah.
And so he pulls it out of his back pocket and he's like, well, that's okay. Use mine. So Benny's just not taking no for an answer. Like, if I can come to play ball and that's just the final.
If you want to learn, you're going to learn.
That's the final answer. Like, there's the only.
We really need a ninth person, too.
Yeah, like it's my way. There is no highway option.
Yeah.
You're coming to play baseball.
But he's nice about it. Yeah.
He is. He's super nice about it. Yeah. And so gives him this like awesome, like it's old, it's used baseball glove.
But it works.
But it's broken in. Well, I think the older gloves are amazing. Like I still wish that I had my old glove when I was a kid because it was so broken in. It fit my hand so perfectly.
Yeah.
And like, by the time you get your glove like, it's like a hat, right? By the time you get your glove like that or a pair of shoes, you get it broken in, it's like it's an extension of your hand.
No, the shoes are a different story.
You stop.
No.
You stop. You say broken, I say broke in.
No, they're broken.
They're broke in. They're comfy. They're molded to my feet. My feet are perfectly spaced in them. They're worn down to where it's great. And they feel good when you walk.
And they last out 6 months after that.
Baseball glove is the same way.
The baseball glove will last more than 6 months afterwards.
Right. Oh, yeah.
The sneakers will not.
So I still, to this day, I remember my first real baseball glove. Mm-hmm. So it was a Rawlings.
Yeah.
And it had a replica signature in the palm. And growing up a Yankees fan here in New York, we had a few superstars that we absolutely loved as Yankees fans. So we had Don Mattingly, obviously.
Okay.
Mr. Baseball, Don Mattingly.
Sure.
But then one of the best Yankees pitchers from the era when I was growing up, which, by the way, the Yankees absolutely sucked at this time, didn't win shit ever. The Yankees never won shit in my lifetime until, 96.
Okay.
So I went through a long time growing up. I went to my first game at the stadium in 89, and they were absolutely horrendous.
Okay.
But my glove was signed, the replica signature was Ron Guidry. Louisiana Lightning, Ron the Gator Guidry.
Okay.
Famous Yankees left-handed pitcher from that era. So that was my first baseball glove that I used for Little League and modified, and for years and years and years. I used that glove until it was literally destroyed. Until it could no longer be used.
At least you used it until it could no longer be used.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we bought new gloves not too many years ago.
Yeah.
It was, 3-4 years ago?
3 years ago.
That we bought new baseball gloves. And my new one still is not broken in the way I like it.
Well, that's because we don't use it very often.
We do not use it a lot, no. So I need to get some glove oil and a rubber band and break it in.
Okay.
It's just the way you do it. You put a baseball in it, you put glove oil in it, you wrap it up with a rubber band really tight.
So it sits like this?
Yep, so that way it loosens it up. But, yeah, so I love this scene where Scotty gets his first glove. And you can see how excited he is about this glove. And especially later on after this, on the way home, when Benny just tells him to keep it. He's like, oh my God, thanks, Benny, yeah!
I don't understand the enthusiasm, but okay.
Yeah, it's a
boy thing.
It's a boy baseball player thing.
Yeah.
You love it. I love it.
All right.
I absolutely love it. So from here, we go and Benny brings Smalls to meet the guys.
Yep.
Oh boy. I love this scene. This scene has just so much that just speaks directly to a young boy who grew up in a town like this with a group of friends like this. So, there's spitting, there's nicknames, there's crazy awesome baseball caps, there's people telling stories and doing impersonations and making fun of the square
There's
kid.
bubblegum cigars.
There's bubblegum cigars. I fucking love bubblegum cigars and candy cigarettes. They were amazing.
Back when that was perfectly acceptable.
Perfectly acceptable when your mom would come home with a box of candy cigarettes for you.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, so they meet outside the back of Vincent's drugstore.
Yep.
And as Benny and Scotty are walking up, we get Ham, who has a bubblegum cigar in his mouth. And he is doing an impersonation. And he's like, everybody's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm the great Bambino. To which Smalls, who just arrives around the corner with Benny, goes,
Who's
that? Who? And everybody, like, acts like he just pissed on the priest.
Well, pissing on the priest would be less
offensive than telling the baseball kids who's Babe Ruth. Like,
yeah.
So they are, like, super offended that he does not know. And so he covers it up. And he's like, oh, yeah. So they rattle off.
Great Bambi.
Yeah, so they all rattle off Babe Ruth's other nicknames. So, like, the Colossus of Clout, the Titan of what? The Titan of whatever.
I have
the
no idea.
Colossus of Clout, like, the Titan of Terror.
Yeah.
And all those other nicknames that Babe Ruth had. And they're like, and he goes, oh, yeah, the Great Bambino. I thought you meant the Great
Bambi.
To which Ham goes, that wimpy deer?
Offended!
So, and you can see Benny's face too when my favorite part of this entire scene is you get a close up of Benny's face when Smalls says, who's that? To the Great Bambino. Because Benny's like,
yeah, because then Benny realizes he's got a lot of work to do.
What have I done?
This
like this
person,
is this is not going to be easy.
No.
We get that problem cleared up, and then we get the introductions.
It doesn't really get cleared up. They just kind of ignore it and move on.
Yeah, they do. They just kind of move past it because Scotty just lies and says, oh yeah, I know who the Great Bambino is. Whatever, no problem.
Yep.
I know exactly who you guys are talking about.
And they know he's lying.
They don't know. That's the thing, though, because later on they expect him to actually know.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So, yeah.
I assume they knew he was lying because...
Nope.
Because who'd be stupid enough to say the Great Bambi?
You never know.
Yeah,
who knows?
True.
But, yeah, so then we get the introductions.
Yeah.
And so we go down the list of characters. And as they're introduced, every one of them has to spit.
Because it's a boy thing, right?
Yes, because it's a boy thing.
They can't just shake hands?
Nope. It's a boy thing. They spit. Yep.
They are not llamas.
So, a
Or
bunch of them
camels.
have nicknames.
Yeah.
So, we got like, yeah. We've got Squints, because of his glasses. We've got Ham,
Yeah.
because he's Hamilton Porter.
Now, the tall one, is he called Weeks?
That's his last name is Weeks.
Okay.
It's Brendan Weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's not a nickname.
Okay.
That's his actual name, yeah.
So Smalls isn't a nickname. That's his actual
His
name.
actual name is Scotty
And
Smalls.
then the brothers annoy the fuck out of me, alright?
Yeah, the brothers will be the most annoying part of this movie.
Yes.
Except for the dog balls.
Yeah.
The dog nuts and Dick is probably a little more annoying to me than the twins. Or the brothers, whatever.
The dog balls?
Yeah. We'll talk about when we get to the dog chase montage.
Yeah.
Where like 8 different times, like the camera is like right here as the dog jumps.
Oh yeah, where you
his-
can tell
his nuts just hanging down.
where the dog hasn't been neutered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember thinking that last night when I watched it for the second time. I was like, that dog's not fixed.
Yeah. A lot of
Back
that.
when it was okay to not
Yeah.
get your dog
Yeah, back
fixed.
before Bob Barker was making sure everybody was getting their pets spayed and neutered.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to talk about a couple of things in this scene. So first of all, nicknames.
Okay.
Again, it's another... I still remember my Little League nickname to this day.
Okay.
It's like 30 years ago. Still remember it. It's Traveling Matt.
Okay.
Because my name's Matt, and there was a character on Fraggle Rock. For anybody out there about my age, you'll know Fraggle Rock. And there was a Fraggle who would like go off on adventures and be gone for like a whole season, and then like come back and tell everybody about his adventure. And he was Traveling Matt.
Fraggle Rock, is that like that Jim Henson TV show?
Yes, with the little Fraggles that and it had like the dog, and they lived like under the house.
Yeah.
Yes, that was Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, Fraggle Rock. So my nickname was Traveling Matt.
Okay.
Until I got into high school, and the gym teacher decided he was going to change it for me. To which my last name is Brown, so he started calling me Brownie Scout, and that's the one that stuck after that. And so now I have friends from high school that to this day will still call me Brownie Scout. And Mr. Brazee, who we met that one time at my sister's house when she lived across his backyard, called me Brownie Scout still. Called me Brownie. So that one stuck after that. So, but nicknames are super important to boys this age. We all got them.
I still don't get it.
I know
mean,
you know.
My childhood friends also call me by my nickname, but I demanded that nickname because there was two girls in my class with the exact same name, and I wanted to be called something different.
Okay.
But I guess it's not under the same pretense, so I don't get the same.
Because you got to choose your nickname.
Yeah.
Boys with your group of friends, you don't get to choose your nickname. It's like a pilot's call sign.
Yeah.
You don't get to choose it.
Yeah.
The people around you choose it for you.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
So, because I played third base, so therefore I had to, like, run and cover the area, I was called Traveling Matt.
All right.
Yeah, play third base and catcher. Bad knees.
You had bad knees to begin with.
Bad knees after playing catcher for years and years and years.
I believe it.
But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about the nicknames because I think that it's a nice little touch in the movie that the kids who would have nicknames, and that they line up, right? So like my nickname is Brownie Scout because of my last name. Mm-hmm. Squints' last name is Squints because of his fucking glasses because he can't see shit.
Is that actually his last name?
No, his last name is Palidorus.
No.
So they call him Squints.
Okay, you said his last name was Squints.
Oh, his nickname. His nickname is Squints because he can't see shit, so they call him Squints.
Yeah, he's got really thick glasses.
Yeah, and Hamilton Porter is called Ham because he's chubby, so they call him Ham.
Yeah, the fat cake.
Yeah. Because you are a disgusting fat body, Private Pile.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah. And then the other thing I want to talk about in this scene is some cool baseball hats.
Okay, yeah.
Caps, because the caps are awesome.
They all have different baseball caps.
Well, two of them have the same one. So Squints and Ham both have Yankees caps.
Yep.
Which haven't changed ever. Like, the Yankees cap is still the same Yankees cap as it's always been.
Yep.
Benny is wearing a Los Angeles Dodgers cap.
Yep.
Again, which hasn't changed. Still the same cap that they wear today. Brendan Weeks, so the tall, nerdy kid, he's wearing a Los Angeles Angels cap, which has changed. The team name has changed because now now they've gone from the Los Angeles Angels to the Anaheim Angels to now the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim is their actual. I know. Fucking ridiculous. But now their hat is just like an A with a halo on it. But his is a red and white LA on a dark blue hat.
Okay.
And that was the LA Angels back then. Let's see. I think those are the only the current baseball ones. Now, De Nunez, the black kid in the group, is wearing a great touch of a hat.
It says KC on
it.
It's
KC. It's a white hat with KC. And this is a hat from the Negro Leagues. This is the Kansas City Monarchs. So back before
Kansas City, KC.
Right, so back before black players were allowed to play in the major leagues, and Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, there was the Negro Leagues where the black players would play.
Now is it okay to say
You can call it the Negro Leagues.
Okay.
Because that's the official name of it. It's called. That was their actual name, was the Negro League.
Yeah, I won't even say it. So.
Okay. But yes, it was the Negro League, and this was the Kansas City Monarchs, probably the best team in the Negro League.
Okay.
And there were some fantastic players throughout the history of not only the Negro League but the KC Monarchs in general.
Okay.
So they had probably. So if you look at like major league pitchers and who's the best in history, there's some names that everybody will throw out, like Walter Johnson. Babe Ruth was a great pitcher. Sandy Koufax. One of the best pitchers ever, who only played for a few years in the major leagues because he played in the Negro Leagues before that, was Satchel Paige. Okay. Phenomenal pitcher, great strikeout pitcher, amazing ERA. Spent most of his career in the Negro Leagues with the KC Monarchs.
Okay.
And then they had an amazing hitter as well, who, if you count the Negro Leagues stats, probably ends up with more home runs than Babe Ruth. Yeah. And his name was Josh Gibson.
Okay.
Another phenomenal player.
Okay.
So I love that they have this cap from the Negro Leagues in this show.
I'm the only black kid on the team.
I think it's a perfect touch. That he would be wearing, like, he loves baseball so much and he understands the history of it so much that he's wearing a KC Monarchs hat. That's phenomenal. I love that touch.
All right.
Normally he'd be wearing like an Indians hat or something.
Yeah.
But nope, he's got a KC Monarchs hat, which is just incredibly great. I love it. A little touch of history. And now the Negro Leagues are forever immortalized in this movie.
Yes.
Right. So at least the tradition of them carries on. At least through that hat in this movie. Yeah. Something will always be there to remember that. Which is great. Phenomenal. Great little piece of baseball history.
I wouldn't have even noticed if you hadn't pointed it out.
Another reason, because there is a Kansas City team in the major leagues, the Kansas City Royals, but that's not the same team.
Yeah.
So, all right. So yeah. So again, I love that team. I just want to talk about the hats, about the nicknames. I think it's cool. All the spitting. You were not a fan.
No, I was not a fan of that.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. All right. So after our introductions, we all head to the Sandlot.
Yep.
And the other boys are just not happy that Smalls is coming.
No.
They are calling him names, trash talking him, telling Benny he's an idiot for bringing the kid along.
And the kid's just tagging along in the back of the group.
Yeah, just hanging out in the outfield while everybody else is out in the infield talking. Poor Smalls. Now, Squints calls him an L7 weenie.
Yeah.
Which you just learned means he's a square.
What does a square mean?
He's square. He's like a nerd. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not a ball player. He's a square.
Well, he wants to learn.
He's boring. So, yep. And he even does, and then he goes, he's an L7 weenie. And then, yeah, chimes in. Yeah, Oscar Mayer even. And they all start laughing at that. And then Benny goes to, yeah. What are you laughing at, yeah? You run like a duck. And Yaya's like, yeah, but I'm part of the... And Benny goes, part of the game, right? And he goes, yeah. He goes, why can't he be? So
good point.
Benny is sticking up for Smalls, because he didn't even know him.
Yeah.
So good on Benny. I'm really liking Benny here. Benny's a real solid kid.
He's a good team player.
Yeah, he's a good doobie.
He's a good doobie, yeah.
He's a good doobie. So we get to some baseball. With everybody still making fun of Smalls.
You think they teach him, they see what he knows first.
Well, that's what they try to do. So Benny tells him to go play left center, which is better than left out.
Yep.
Or right bench. So left center is better than left out or right bench. So
kid doesn't know where left center is.
Well, so neither did you. So because you
this
asked,
isn't about me. This is about the game. Actually, it is about me. My name's in the title.
So so he goes to left. And at least he knew where left was.
Yeah.
And Benny says, nope, that's left. Go to left center. So Smalls is like, okay, I'm assuming more towards the center then from left. Okay, so he finally makes it to left center. Yeah. And so this is where I had to explain to you how fields in baseball work.
Yes.
Because if you were in the outfield facing in, then technically Smalls would be on the right side.
Yes.
But however, in baseball... You determine them from looking at home plate out.
Yeah.
So left field is to the left looking out towards the wall. Right field is to the right.
Yep.
So he's in left center now. And Benny goes in, and the first thing he does is hit a ball to, tells him to get to. So they turn a double play, which is ground ball to the shortstop, onto the second baseman, then onto the first baseman to get to. Yeah. Double play. And then Benny hits a fly ball to Smalls.
Yes.
And it's over Smalls' head, so he's
backpedaling
back towards it, and then what happens?
He trips and falls.
He trips and falls over backwards, and the ball lands on the ground, and everybody busts out laughing.
Except Benny.
Except Benny, who's looking like, kids, you're not making this easy on me. Like I'm trying to stand up for you, but this is not working. Yeah. he's got the Bill what the fuck face going on.
So
but a little nicer.
Yeah. So Smalls picks up the ball.
And then does what?
He walks it to...
Not even talking to second baseman, who would be the closest person.
The pitcher.
To the pitcher, De Nunez.
Yes.
Who gives him...
The what the fuck
look.
Yeah. And then he runs back to the field, and he's shit talking to himself all the way back out, and then Benny decides he has to go have a talk with him.
So Benny goes out and says, okay, you can throw the ball, to which Scotty says, no, I can't. I don't know how. So Benny says the magic phrase, have you ever had a paper route? Scotty's like, well, yeah, of course. He's like, okay, you know how you throw a paper? Mm-hmm. Hey, guess what? That's how you throw. So, like, when your arm gets here, just let it go. Just let it go.
And all of a sudden he knows how to throw.
But first then Benny's like, heads back in, and then Scotty's like, Benny, how do I catch? How do I catch the ball? And Benny says, what does Benny tell him?
Just put your glove in the air.
I'll take care of the rest.
Yep.
So Benny heads on in. Smalls is there. He closes his eyes and puts his glove up in the air.
He closes his eyes. He should not be closing his eyes.
Number one rule, keep your eye on the ball. You can't do that with your eyes closed. Which we'll also get to in our discussion of Little Big League, where Billy Haywood's friends make fun of him for trying to hit the ball with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
So it's a common theme among baseball movies with kids.
Yeah.
But so Benny gives a little spit on the ball, rubs it in.
And says exactly where he's going to put the ball.
To get a little English, and then just cracks a fly ball right to Smalls' glove.
Yep.
And he catches it.
Eyes closed.
Yep.
Doesn't move an inch.
And then throws it into second.
Yeah.
And
throws it pretty well, I might add.
Pretty good for his first ever throw. And so who catches it? Brendan Weeks catches it. The tall, nerdy kid catches it.
Yep.
And he goes, all right, let's play some ball. Like, now we're good. Now we're good. Smalls can play ball. Now we're good to go. Like, all he needed was a pep talk from Benny. He's good to go. Now all-star player now.
Yep.
And then De Nunez goes, I knew he could do it. No problem.
Okay. Okay, kid.
So it's great. So they're playing ball. And then on the way, we cut to the way home. Benny, Ham, and Smalls are walking home. And Smalls is like, or Ham's like, taught him everything he knows. Not a problem. I'll teach him more tomorrow. It's all good. Like, he's the one who taught him how to catch and throw. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love Ham. Ham is like that. So, like, every group of kids this age, boys this age, had, like, the reporter kid, right? Who was, like, the one who, like, told the group everything, even though the group already knew it.
Were you that kid?
No, I was not.
You sure?
But every group had that kid. So, like, later on when they do the pool thing, like, and he's, like, talking to Squints, he's like, he meant to do that. He planned it. He had that in his mind the whole time. He knew what he was doing. Like, every group had that kid who just, like, had to report everything to the group. I was not that kid, thankfully. No. But, so every group of kids had that reporter kid, and that's Ham in this movie.
Our co-host on our other podcast does that.
She was the reporter kid?
Yeah, she is the reporter kid.
She still is the reporter kid. Yeah. All right, yep. And so Ham heads off to home because I think he was like a block away or something like that, down a side street. And Benny and Smalls are heading home. When they get there, Smalls tries to give Benny his glove back. Benny tells him to keep it. Yeah. And then he comes back over to Smalls and he goes, do you have a fireplace? And Smalls is like, yeah, of course. Don't we all have? Because we're all rich. Why don't we have fireplaces? And Benny goes, what does Benny tell him to do with his fireplace?
Burn his hat?
Burn this ridiculous hat with a fish on it that has a bill on it, literally like the length of a baseball bat.
Yeah.
It's really like 4 feet long.
It's not a baseball hat. It's a fishing hat.
It's a fishing hat. It's like a 4 foot long bill on the thing.
Yeah, it looks like a Bass Pro fish on it.
Yep. So Smalls is like, well, it's the only hat I have. So Benny from his back, Benny's got magic, like his back pockets.
Magic back pockets.
Yeah, are like Hermione's bag. He's got like Hermione's back pockets because he pulls out another hat.
Yeah.
Out of his old hat, out of his back pocket.
Yeah.
Now I had originally thought that this was a Chicago Cubs cap.
Yeah.
But it's not because the C is not white. It's yellow.
Meaning?
So I'm thinking maybe it's like the local, like maybe like Benny's old Little League team, or maybe like the school cap or something. Because it's not a Cubs cap.
I don't know.
So it's got a yellow C on it with the blue. It's Cubs blue, but it's got a yellow C instead of a white C. So not a Cubs cap. But so anyway, Smalls has a new baseball cap, and he tells him the next day, hey, Poindexter, don't wear like a button-up plaid shirt and slacks. Wear jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah, because you're going to get dirty.
Yep. Well, plus you look like a nerd.
Yeah.
And we want you to look cool to play ball.
Yeah.
You look like a ball player. So.
Because playing in jeans is the right thing to do.
Well, it's better.
Yeah, that's true. Especially if you're going to be sliding. So.
Yeah, exactly. So Smalls is like, he's like super excited. And, we missed on, when Benny hit the ball right into Smalls' glove. Smalls gives him a thumbs up from the outfield, and Benny gives him a thumbs up back.
Yeah.
And that's going to come back to us later on in the movie.
Yes, it does.
So they tie that circle. They circle that square.
Circle that square.
So Smalls is excited. He's made friends. All the other kids like him.
Yeah, because now all of a sudden he knows how to play.
He now play baseball. It's all good. And, like, as a kid, like, you don't even think about, like, the how fast you learn how to play baseball type thing, right? Like, watching it now is like a plot hole. Like, he just went from not knowing to, like, knowing how to play ball in, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah, he threw that ball pretty well.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, whatever. But, like, the movie's made for kids, and kids don't think about things that in depth.
Nope.
So it's
because once they throw, they think they know how to play.
Yeah, so it works for me. It's all good.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that. So then we cut to another day of baseball.
Yeah.
And we get the great Hambino up to bat.
Yeah.
And he calls his shot.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. And he didn't even look. He put his head down and just pointed.
And then swing and miss.
Yep.
On a pitch from De Nunez.
Yep.
And then he gets mad. He's like, "Come on, give me a pitch I can hit." So De Nunez tells him, "Okay, here comes my heater. See if you can hit it."
He hits it all right.
He hits it. Now, from the look of the actual hit on the bat,
Yeah.
it's like a pop fly to the pitcher.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to go anywhere, like the angle that comes off the bat.
But it's a kid's movie.
So we cut to a ball flying over the fence and smashing into a window in a car.
Yep.
And everybody gets pissed at Ham because it's like early in the morning and he just lost their baseball.
Yeah.
And Smalls is like, well, guys, no problem. Just climb over the fence and grab the thing.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Oh, no.
And then everybody freaks out, runs and like pulls Smalls off the fence. You can't go over there. You're going to die.
Yeah.
Now, again, here's another plot hole. Smalls knows from
There's
day
something.
one at the Sandlot that there's like some kind of beastie monster thing back behind this fence.
Yeah.
Because he was terrified of the thing when he heard it and saw it.
I just saw the shadow.
But now he's going to climb over the fence like he completely
Without even
forgot.
thinking about it.
Like he completely forgot that this thing is over there.
Well, he probably did because he's a boy.
Well, okay, fine, fair. But yeah, so they all pull him back and like,
Oh, yeah. They all abandon the game. They go running after
the
him.
game was over because they lost their ball.
Yeah.
But then, so they pull him back. They like back away from the fence, like, oh, we're gonna back up this way just in case. Oh, whoa!
Because for some reason the beast is going to knock the wall down, which it never has.
But it will later on
In the opposite direction.
in the opposite direction, but it still knocks it down. So, but yeah, so they tell him to go look through the fence, and so Scotty looks through, and like this, like 8-foot gorilla paw of a dog paw. Like, just like snatches the baseball and pulls it in with
Yep.
like fire breathing
Out of
dragon
steam.
sounds.
Yep.
And he like runs away like a scared little girl. He's like, what the fuck was that? And they're like, camp out!
Yeah. Sleepover.
Camp out.
Sleepover.
Camp out. They have sleeping bags and they're outside. It's a camp out.
It's a sleepover.
There's even s'mores. It's a camp out.
It's a sleepover.
Girls have sleepovers, boys have camp outs.
Whatever.
But yeah, so we cut to a fantastic song
Yeah.
in the jungle. Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Yeah.
Fantastic. A wee moe, in the jungle, the mighty jungle. Great song. The soundtrack for this movie is awesome.
Yeah, it's a
It's got
good
some great songs.
soundtrack.
So we get in the jungle, which is great. And we're in the treehouse near the Sandlot, which is in center field of the Sandlot.
Yeah.
Just right on the fence.
So somebody must live right there.
Right, and I think it's the twins.
Okay.
Or the brothers.
Yeah.
Because they go on later on and it says to build prefabricated tree houses.
Yeah.
So I assume that little is like a little tie into the tree house being theirs.
Okay.
Maybe, maybe not, who knows. But I that's my headcanon on it.
Okay.
Is that it's that Timmy and Tommy live right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of them at least lives right there. And so we're inside the tree house for a camp out. Small shows up. Everybody else is already there. Ham, of course, is making s'mores. And we get the obligatory s'mores joke.
Yeah.
Do you want a s'more? How can I have some more if I haven't had nothing yet?
Yeah.
Because every movie that has s'mores has to have this joke.
Because apparently the kid's never had a s'more in his
Apparently
life.
never had a s'more. How do you make it to 11 or 12 years old and never have had a s'more?
Very sheltered life.
I mean, ridiculous.
I mean, I knew science kids who'd make them themselves by burning shit over beakers.
Bunsen burner, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I will have to say, I am not a fan of the way that Ham does his marshmallows. Because he just like pops it in the flame until it catches on fire and calls it good. So all you end up with then is like a burnt marshmallow with a raw inside. I like a nice slow roasted marshmallow where it really gets gooey on the inside. That's the way you make it.
But
I'm
do you
sorry.
like it black on the outside, or
No.
do you like it golden brown?
Like a golden brown with a melted inside.
Okay.
So you got to slow roast it. It takes time. You got to be patient.
Yeah.
You can't just stick it in the flame, catch it on fire, and blow it out. It doesn't work. It's a raw marshmallow with a burned outside. It
Some
doesn't
people
work.
like it that way.
Doesn't work. So I prefer a gooey, melted marshmallow.
See, if I'm impatient, I'll just light
I
the
know
thing
you
on
will.
fire. I'll eat the inside and then I'll eat the outside. Or I'll just take the marshmallow and make taffy out of it.
I do like taking them and eating them layer by layer. So you fry a layer, eat it, fry
a
the
layer.
next layer. Yeah.
Yep.
That's also an acceptable way to do it.
Yep.
If you're making a s'more, it's got to be like a fully melted marshmallow.
Yeah.
That's the only way. It makes it gooey and messy. It's the only way it works. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Ham's making s'mores. We get the obligatory s'mores joke. And then Squints tells us the story of the beast.
We also get the most famous line.
We do. Okay, yes, we do. So, with the s'mores joke is the first time ever that you heard the line. Well, no, you had heard the line before, but this is where you finally heard where the line came from. When Ham says to Smalls, "You're killing me, Smalls."
Yep.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's where it comes from. Yeah.
Yep. Fantastic. So we get the birth of "You're killing me, Smalls."
Yep.
All right. So we get the story of the Beast. And so the Beast is apparently a junkyard dog who was fed.
He was bred this way.
Well, he was fed like full sides of beef.
Yeah, like half a cow.
And we just get this hilarious scene of like the bones of a whole side of beef just being like thrown out of a trailer door.
Yeah.
By somebody inside just throwing
it all in black
out.
and white, yeah.
And then we get like some criminals that break in and the dog kills them.
I love the outfits, the burglar. Like it's...
Oh, yeah, literally dressed like a Batman burglar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, who decided that this was like the epitome of burglaring outfits, because... It's hilarious.
It is. It's the comic book version of
it's the black and white stripes, and it's got the black mask over your eyes. Like that's gonna do anything.
Your Zorro mask. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so good. And then we get a product placement drop because the burglars break in right in front of a big huge Skill Power Tools sign, which gets shown like 3 times.
Yeah,
and the Beast with a paw as big as these guys' heads. Kills them.
Yep, just knocks them in the face.
Yep. Now, according to Smalls, the Beast ended up killing 173 people.
And eating them. Bones and all.
Bones and all. Because the bodies were never found.
Mm-hmm.
But, so instead, the police, and so we've got a murderous dog that's killed 173 people. And the police come over, and instead of putting the dog down, they just forced the owner to chain it up.
Yeah, so they've got this whole dog. They're filling it with cement to put this pole in.
To put a giant chain on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's ridiculous.
And I love this story because I remember being these kids' age, and every neighborhood had their tall tale like this.
Right.
Right. Like, they all, like, so for my neighborhood, it was like this group of older kids who lived near the river. That's where their house was. Mm-hmm. And if younger kids went near their house on their bikes, like in the road, and caught them, they threw them in the river to drown. Like, that was what happened to the younger kids that went by their house.
Did you guys ever check to see if there were missing persons?
No, because we were kids. We just believed the tall tale because we were that young. That when your friends told you something, it was true.
Yeah, no, our tall tale was, and I think my parents started this because they wanted to keep us out of my grandparents' basement. I think my grandfather told us this because we've got this old river behind my grandparents' house, and it's full of murky water, and, the algae will grow on it and everything. And my grandfather told us, because we kept trying to sneak into the basement when we were little, because they couldn't lock the door, that we had to stay out because there were alligators that lived down there. So, for years, we believed there were alligators down there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Until we were old enough to realize that he was full of shit.
Yeah. And then, strangely enough, there was an alligator in that river, not too far from there.
Yeah.
Go figure. But yeah, so like every neighborhood had the tall tale. So I understand how the boys understand this, like, believe this story and think it's true.
Yeah.
Like, because that's, like, your friend tells you, my grandpa was the police chief when this happened, and he's the one who told him they had to stay chained up forever.
Yeah, that part was just for, the cop does look like a Squints.
Yes, he does. Oh, yeah, they did a great job finding somebody who could believably be Squints' grandfather.
Yes. Yeah. The glasses, and I burst out laughing when he was like, saying word for word what Squint was saying, and the way his mouth was forming over the word forever.
Forever.
Yeah. And just repeating it, and just like getting closer and closer on the guy's mouth. It was so funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. I feel so bad for Mr. Myrtle.
Yes. Oh, poor Mr. Myrtle. But then Squint says that one kid did go in there to try to get a ball back, but he was never seen again.
The kid probably walked out the front door.
Right. But then Ham says, because the beast ate him.
The beast didn't eat him.
And Smalls doesn't believe... Smalls is smart right now. He doesn't believe it, right? So he's like, oh, you guys are so full of shit.
Yeah.
I don't believe a word you're saying. So they tell him, just go look out the window. Because they're in the treehouse that overlooks the yard where the beast is chained up.
Yeah.
So he goes and looks. Now, I just love this, right? So we get, the first thing we see when he looks over the window is a baby doll with an arrow shot through the eye.
Yep.
And then we get like another arrow like planted in the ground and like some random junk like swinging in the wind.
Yeah, broken airplane toys.
Yeah. So like, nothing that's actually scary.
Yeah.
But like could conceivably be in a junkyard.
Yeah.
But
it's not a junkyard. It's a blind man's backyard.
It's a blind man's backyard.
So he doesn't know what toys are back there.
Right, exactly. And so Scotty looks down, and he doesn't see anything, but the dog breathes, and like a big dust hurricane kicks up.
Yeah, out of the doghouse.
Of the doghouse. So he like freaks out. He's like, he's down there right now.
Well, it's dry back there. Of course, the backyard's full of dust.
It's all dirt and dust.
Yeah, so of course if the dog breathes, it's gonna puff out.
Right, but they make it like look huge, like it's like a fire-breathing dragon blowing smoke out.
They do.
So Scotty like freaks out, and now he's a believer. Now he's a believer in the beast because he saw it. Even though he didn't see it, but he saw it.
Tall tales.
Yep, it's neighborhood tall tales. It's the way it is. They all have them when you're a kid. It's great.
Imaginations run wild. They don't happen very much these days anymore.
No, they do not. All right. So the next, I'm assuming it's again the next day. We don't know if it's the next day or not. But anyway, we get Yeah and Squints are buying a new baseball.
Yeah.
At Vincent's drugstore.
98 cents a pop.
Well, we don't know that yet.
But that's how much they cost.
That's how much they cost back then, is 98 cents.
Yep.
For a brand new baseball. And as they're coming out the front and headed towards the Sandlot, they get stopped by Squints. Because Squints sees
a 17-year-old girl.
17-year-old goddess, apparently.
Oh, she's a girl.
Wendy Peppercorn.
Yeah.
Yep. We get a nice shot of her face as she walks by and smiles. The boob shot comes later when she's at the pool.
Yeah, that's true.
But and then we get a nice close up on her ass as she's walking across the street away from them.
Yeah, real appropriate.
And Squints is staring at her ass.
These days that would not fly because she's a minor.
I don't think she was a minor.
You think she's 18?
I think so. And she did. And she went on to do her only other real big credit in TV or movies was she was in an episode of Mad Men.
Oh, really?
Yep. But yeah, so Wendy Peppercorn. And so finally Squints and Yeah get control of themselves and make it to the Sandlot.
Boys on their hormones.
Benny's like, where the fuck have you two been? We've been waiting for hours. And Yeah says one of my favorite lines.
He was perving on a dish.
Perving on a dish. To which you just busted out laughing at.
Yeah. I didn't catch it the first time I watched it, but the second time I did.
Oh, it's so funny. And Squints is like, I've got a lot on my mind right now. Oh, it's just fucking classic.
Oh, that's so inappropriate.
So good. But anyway, so it's like so today it's like 1 trillion degrees out. Like Ham is dying. He's trying to drink soda. It's not working.
Soda's not going to work when you're dehydrated. It's just going to make it worse.
Yeah, it's so funny. He's like, Benny, this pop isn't working. It's like the fucking sun out here. And like everybody, like you see like the tall nerdy kid is like, he looks real haggard sitting in the dugout.
Yeah.
Like he's been like working out or like he's been chopping
They're
wood
just sweating.
in the 100-degree heat.
But they're also wearing 2 shirts.
So, but Benny's like cool as a cucumber. He's wearing like a fucking jeans jacket cut off.
Yeah.
And he's like cool as a cucumber. Everybody else is like, Benny, we gotta call the game. We can't play today.
Yeah. And he's like, no, who wants to be a blah, blah, blah wearing their mother's bra?
Yeah,
and everyone's like, me.
Yeah, so nobody else wants to play.
Yeah, everyone wants to wear their mother's bra today.
So Benny's like, well, fine. If not baseball, what are we gonna do? And Alicia, what do the other boys want to do?
Go to the community pool. To see the lifeguard.
Nope. What do they say? That is the real reason. They say it's for...
I don't remember what they call it.
Pool honeys.
Yeah.
Pool honeys.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because when they're there, Smalls tells us in voiceover that it wasn't really for the pool honeys, because if any one of them had come up to any of the boys, they would have just peed their pants.
Yep, it was for one girl and one girl only.
One girl and one girl only. Yep.
The lifeguard.
Actually, it's a woman, right? Because Squints kissed a woman.
Yeah.
A grown woman.
He didn't kiss a grown woman, he assaulted a grown woman.
We'll get there. So we go to the pool. Now,
Yep.
the first thing that happens at the pool that is absolutely hilarious is we get Ham.
Yep.
Big-bodied Ham. Walking by...
Making kissy faces and all
Walking
these...
by a few hot teenage girls in their bikinis.
Yep.
Like, walking by, like, flexing for them, like, blowing them kisses, like...
Yeah.
How's it going, ladies, sweethearts?
I remember you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is... I'm sorry. It's hilarious. B, then you gotta think, there was like a 40-year-old man that wrote this scene.
Yeah,
like, in
absolutely.
his mind was like, this is gonna be hilarious, guys. Check it out. We're gonna have this like 12-year-old fat kid like checking out these like 16, 17-year-old girls in their bikinis, and it's gonna be great. So it's a little creepy.
Oh, just a little?
But yeah, so he does this, and then he turns away from them and smiles.
And yells.
Ham and ball! And then jumps into the pool. And somehow, as he jumps into the pool, he displaces as much water as a fucking blue whale.
Yes,
and
a lot of water.
literally empties the pool onto this group of girls sitting near it.
Literally? Maybe not quite so literally. But yes, he dumped a lot of water on these girls.
A lot of excess water out of that pool onto those girls.
A lot more than was probably necessary.
Yeah. But
they wanted to make sure they hit all the girls.
We got the point of what was going on. And then so we cut to the middle of the pool where all the boys are. This is where we get the voiceover that says, we said it was about pool honeys, but we would have just peed ourselves. The real reason we came is because we all wanted to just scope out Wendy Peppercorn, who's the lifeguard. And we cut to, again, a 40-year-old man at some point wrote this scene of these little boys in the pool perving on the 17 or 18-year-old lifeguard who's like lotioning her bare legs, bending over to show her tits in her bikini.
She's putting sunblock on.
Right, exactly. And Squints is like...
And she's got the red Baywatch bathing suit on.
Yes, well that's what the lifeguards wore. Even at the community pool here, that's what they wore when I was growing up, was the red Baywatch bathing suit.
Yeah.
Yep, they all did. But, so, Squints is like, just like, for my entire adult life, he's like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Every summer of my adult life, I have come here and watched her lotioning and oiling and lotioning.
And he can't take it no more.
And I think it's Denunez who says, she has no idea what she's doing. As we get like this slow motion of her like oiling her legs and shit. And Benny goes, she knows exactly what she's doing. Which is exactly what you said, too. You're like, that bitch knows what she's doing.
I shouldn't have said that, though.
But it's true. She knows exactly what she's doing.
She does, because she keeps looking at them.
Yeah, she keeps looking right at fucking this group of boys.
Yeah.
Which, okay, is she scoping out Squints, or do you think she's scoping out Benny?
I think she's looking to see what kind of trouble they're going to get into.
Really? I think she's scoping out Benny.
I don't know.
Maybe Denunez. One of the two.
I don't know.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
We'll never know. But anyway, so this is
It's all politically inappropriate.
Yes, it's all very inappropriate. It's all very
politically incorrect.
But then you think, right? So you think about it when you okay. So, but is it really? Because like even like in recent times, right? So like when like a male teacher sleeps with a female teacher, like everybody gets like egregiously mad about it, which is understandable.
Female teacher or female student?
A female student.
Yes.
Everybody gets egregiously mad about it, right?
But
everybody on like every side of the political spectrum. Mm-hmm. Everybody from every walk of life in America gets mad about it.
But when a male student sleeps with a female teacher, they're
half
like,
of
oh yeah!
Half of America's like, that dude is banging a chick.
It's
Hell
bullshit.
Yeah. I agree. But even to this day, we still have that view of it. A lot of people.
They shouldn't, though.
They shouldn't, but they do. Like, oh yeah, that dude's he's banging.
Oh yeah, the guys that
like,
fuck their best friend's mom in college.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's all nonsense.
It may be nonsense, but it's part of the lexicon. It's part of reality.
Reality sucks sometimes.
It does. I completely agree. But
It's
so
politically
but so like the hot older girl with the younger guy, it's not as taboo as you, especially at this time. When
I know, because it's every guy's fantasy.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Doesn't mean it's
Doesn't mean it's good in any way, no. But yes, it's part of the fantasy, no doubt about it. I mean, just look at Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate.
Yeah.
Where she was an old lady banging fucking Dustin Hoffman's like high school character. You know what I mean? You know, it's just the way it is. I mean, Mrs. Robinson is a thing for a reason. And we had shows like fucking, was it like MILF Town or whatever? With Courtney Cox.
Your sister's name is Mrs. Robinson.
That's true, it is. Yes, my younger sister's name is Mrs. Robinson. Dynamite dropping, Alicia. Those broadcasting classes have really paid off.
You can cut that out. That's fine.
Boy, that's funny.
I
didn't even think about that.
Wait.
Yep. My sister, who's a teacher, her name is Mrs. Robinson. Yes. Alrighty then. All right. Anyway, so Squints does what the narration voiceover tells us is the most desperate thing any of them had ever seen. So Squints, who can't swim, goes to the deep end and jumps off of the diving board.
After he gets the lifeguard's attention.
Yeah, he like waves at her, winks at her, pulls down his pants, and then...
I'm just glad this show didn't, like, show off their friggin' boners underwater.
Right, yeah. So then he dives in.
No, he just jumps, feet first.
And then can't swim, so he's just, like, sinking to the bottom.
Sinking. He's got his glasses in one hand, and he's got his nose plugged with the other.
Yep. And then so Wendy Peppercorn jumps in.
Yep, because she knows he can't swim.
Because she's a lifeguard.
Yep.
So that's her job. So she throws away the sunglasses, throws away the whistle, dives in after him off the chair. Awesome move. Pulls him up and out, and then puts him on the ground and proceeds to do breathing.
Yeah, no CPR.
Well... presumably his heart's still beating. He just needs to breathe because he's got like water in the lungs.
They gotta help get the lungs out.
Right.
But normally, don't they use
yes, they would usually use compressions, but they don't want to like hurt the kid.
Yeah.
Like so because it's for the movie. So,
yeah.
Whatever. So she's breathing for him, trying to get him to breathe.
Yeah.
And she does like 3 or 4, and like the boys are all like nervous, like come on, Squints, come on, wake up, dude. And then like. She goes to listen to his chest one more time, and he opens his eyes,
gets
smiles,
his dorky-ass smile on his
and
face.
looks over at his friends,
and
they're all like,
and then they pretend to pass out again.
Then he pretends to pass out again, and then she goes to give him air one more time, and he pulls on the back of her head.
When I was watching
you thought
movie,
this scene was hilarious. You busted out laughing.
I was like, I should not be laughing at this.
But you were.
But I was,
laughing very much at this movie.
Yeah.
At this specific scene, yes. So Squints basically force kisses her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He became a man.
Yes.
Bullshit.
But anyway, so you filthy little pervert, like the uncle from Home Alone.
Yeah.
Where he like hears him in the bathroom. He's like, get out of here, you dirty little pervert.
Yeah.
And that's basically what she says to Squints.
Yeah.
Drags him outside.
All his friends following him.
And throws him in the grass, and he's banned forever.
They all are.
Yep. But as he's walking away, he like goes and to the fence and longingly looks up at her, and she just smiles and waves at him.
Yeah, very coyly. Is that a word? Coy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Which
like
is,
she knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and she understood. Like, oh, it's okay that you sexually assaulted me. I get it. You wanted to be a big guy. You wanted to kiss me. I get it. Again, written by like 40-year-old dudes.
Yeah.
In the 90s, so you know.
Yeah, it was okay then. Now it's not.
Well, you know. Yeah, so I'm sorry. This scene is still hilarious to this day.
It is funny.
It's completely
inappropriate. It would
inappropriate.
not be acceptable today.
Oh God, no! You could not make this. You could not make this movie today. There's so many movies from the '90s
that you could
80s
not make today.
that you could not get away with making today.
Yeah.
You think of like the Goonies, couldn't make it today.
Yeah.
You can't make this today. These came from a time, like a specific time in America where you could do these things and it was okay. I think that's why the newest Karate Kid didn't work, is because they were allowed to do things in the old Karate Kid that you can't do today when they made that new one, so it doesn't play as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one of my favorite baseball movies is The Bad News Bears. You can't make, they tried making The Bad News Bears in recent times and you just can't do it. It doesn't have the same magic. Seen it. You will. Don't you worry.
Oh, I bet I will.
All right. Yeah. So, and this is where Ham shows off him being the reporter, where he's like, did you mean to do that? And he's like, yeah, of course. And he's like, guys, he meant to do that. He had that whole thing planned. Of course he did. Yeah. Like he's the guy who has to tell everybody everything.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, all right. So the pool scene is over, and then we get...
They're back at the Sandlot, and the prep boys show up. Right?
No, you missed a whole scene.
I did?
That's the night game.
Oh, that's right.
So we get a night game. 4th of July, everything lights up with fireworks, and it's bright enough that they can play one night game a year.
Yep.
And they all feel like they're major leaguers playing under the lights of some crazy big stadium.
Yep.
Which Benny always feels like, according to the narration.
Yep.
And so Benny hits like a home run, and like the boys are all like staring up at the ball and at the fireworks in awe the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool
it's
little
like
scene.
this little magical scene that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like a 30-second scene, but it's really cool looking.
Yeah, and the whole neighborhood's having like a black party.
Yes, which we don't do anymore.
Nobody ever does anymore.
Which I said we should do in our neighborhood since we just moved in. And you're like, no. So not only do you complain that nobody does it anymore, I say, hey, we should do it. And you're like, nah, just piss on that idea.
You know I'm not that type of person to create that.
We should do it for the 4th of July because A, it's 4th of July, B, it's my birthday weekend. So we should do it. All right. Now, so this is the next day. Mm-hmm. After the night game is when
the prep boys
the douches show up.
Yeah.
The actual baseball team
yeah.
shows up.
Riding their fancy bikes with, the
fancy Schwinns with the fucking...
They've got the tassels on the handles and everything.
The gas tassels hanging out of the handlebars and everything. Yeah. And they show up and they're all in their uniform. Their actual baseball uniforms.
And their varsity jackets.
Yeah, their varsity fucking fake bomber jackets.
Yeah.
Even though it's not varsity jackets because they're like fucking little leaguers.
Yeah.
But whatever, yeah. So like they're like the little league team.
They're like Benny's age.
Yeah, so these definitely seem like older kids.
Yes.
But anyway, so they're like, oh, really easy to play, Benny, when you play with a bunch of squares and a fat kid.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like stand in like a lineup, and Ham decides he's going to take it upon himself to be the fucking mouth of the group.
Well,
which,
that's not surprising.
Seems to be his strength.
Yeah.
So he starts trading trash talk with the leader of the douche kids.
Yeah.
And they go through like fart sniffer, butt smeller, like. You know, like you lick your toilet bowl and you like it, type of stuff, and then
Ham comes up with the worst insult imaginable
that you could possibly throw at somebody, which is
you play like a girl.
You play ball like a girl, and everybody is just stunned to silence. Both sides,
even Benny,
are just stunned that Ham would have the balls to say this, and the other guy's like, "Fine, our field." Tomorrow at high noon. So we got a showdown.
Yeah. They're not sparring or anything.
No. So we're going to have a baseball game.
Yeah.
So we cut to the next day. Mm-hmm. I think that goes
it's the next day, yeah.
Goes right to the next game. Nope. Oh, yes, it is. So, so the next day we have the big game.
Yep. Ham's catcher.
Okay, so this starts off with the other team batting and Ham being the catcher. Yeah. And he's just like trash talking. The other team.
He's distracting them.
Yeah, he's like the pitch is coming, he's like, swing at it. Oh, you missed it, sorry.
Yeah. Strike 3 before the ball's even made it to the bat, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And then we're treated to first a montage of hitting.
Yeah.
Where the Sandlot kids are all hitting. And they're hitting home runs and doubles and gappers and singles.
Yeah, and
even
Smalls can hit the ball.
Even Smalls, who can't play baseball,
but you can clearly
3 days
see his
ago.
ball bounce like as soon as it came out of frame.
Right.
But yeah.
So Smalls, who couldn't even fucking throw a baseball 3 days ago, all of a sudden can fucking hit with the best of them.
Yeah.
So we get a hitting montage followed directly by a sliding, because we needed a sliding montage as well.
Yeah.
So now we have a montage of all the kids on the Sandlot team sliding into second base.
Yeah.
So like apparently no matter what they hit, they all got doubles out of it because they're all sliding into second.
Except for Benny, who got
Benny hits a home run off the scoreboard to end the game.
Yep.
And it turns out that they just fucking slaughtered like the actual baseball team. Probably like Mercy Rule level slaughter from the way the montages look. Because the other team just all struck out, and they all hit like home runs and doubles.
Yeah.
So
Ham did a good job at. The one guy was like, "Can you shut up?" He's like, "I'm just asking for your sister's phone number."
Just trying to be friendly.
Yeah.
So good. So after the victory, we cut to
the county fair.
The local fair, whatever. There's a fair there for that weekend, and
Benny
Everything's
for everyone.
Everything's on Benny that night, yeah.
Yeah, his treat.
Yep, his treat. Which, okay, so Benny seems to be loaded. We'll get to this. There's a plot hole I want to address later on.
Yeah.
But Benny's going to pay for everybody's tickets and shit to go to the fair. Mm-hmm. Later on, Benny shows up with like super expensive PF Flyer shoes, like brand new, just for the fuck of it shoes.
Yeah.
But Benny can't scratch together 98 cents to buy a baseball.
Maybe he spent all his allowance.
He spent all of his money on these tickets and the shoes that he didn't know he was going to need yet.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, so the whole night's on Benny. And as they're getting ready to go ride the tilt-a-whirl, the tall, nerdy kid, Weeks, says, "Oh, I almost forgot." And he pulls out a big bag of Big Chief. And when he pulled it out, you were like, what the fuck is that? Because you had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Because they're like, chaw. And you're like, what is that? It's like, it's tobacco. It's chewing tobacco.
I watched this scene. Actually, I didn't. I kept my eyes closed for the most of it because chewing tobacco is so disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
Every time I looked up and I saw them with it in their mouth, I almost vomited.
Yes.
Not a lot of movies can make me vomit, but this is
come pretty close.
Yeah. Anything with chewing tobacco makes me want to vomit.
Come pretty close. Yeah, so they all put in a big fucking dip.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends tried the chewing tobacco when we were young kids playing baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I never did. I was always a sunflower seed kid. Mm-hmm. That's always what I used. A big mouth of fucking sunflower seeds.
Yeah, my dad told me his experience with it once. No one ever told me he had to spit it out.
Oh!
He got really sick for about 24, 36 hours and never touched it again.
No, thank you.
Yep.
Nope, I've never done it. I smoke, but you know what? I've never used chewing tobacco.
Never
It just
will.
seems so disgusting.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. But yeah, so like, you know, give me the Big League Chew, give me the bazooka.
Yeah, I'll
give me the
stick to
sunflower
bazooka.
seeds. That's about it. Which, by the way, Big League Chew, bazooka gum, so good.
Yeah.
Yep. Big League Chew was hilarious because it came looking just like a pouch of tobacco. It was so
funny. Right along next to the gum cigars and the candy cigarettes.
The candy cigarettes. The 90s were so fucked up.
Yeah.
The 80s and 90s were so fucked up when the candy stores had fucking bubblegum cigars, candy cigarettes, and fucking pouches of Big League Chew that were designed to look like fucking tobacco.
Yes. I used to buy the boxes of the candy cigarettes.
It's no wonder my generation is fucked up as adults.
Yeah. I agree. And then we had the like fake liquor bottles with made of wax.
Wax with the fucking like, the juice in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then we like, our movies growing up were like, hey, it's okay to sexually assault the lifeguard. Like, it's no wonder my generation of boys is just fucked up. Like, no wonder we don't understand rules.
Yeah, or personal boundaries.
Or personal boundaries, yes. Our childhoods were amazing.
So I really don't want to talk about this scene.
All right,
because talking about it makes me crazy.
So short story of this is they all put in some chaw and they get on the tilt-a-whirl.
Yep.
Which is a bad combination if it's the first time you're doing chaw.
Yes.
Anyway, short version is they all get sick and vomit all over each other, themselves, and the people around them.
Yep. People on and off the ride.
Yep. And then we're done with that.
Yep. Done.
And then we cut to the next morning. Bill is leaving for a week to go on business to Chicago, which we love Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. We love going to Chicago.
We love Chicago.
I've been twice. You've been once. Awesome city.
We'll be going back.
We'll be going again probably this summer.
Yep.
And so Mom's going to drive me to the airport. Scotty comes out this morning looking a little rough.
Yeah.
Again with that 24 to 36 hour sickness that your dad got with his first time with chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's looking a little rough. Bill says the one thing that you always want Dad to say to you when you're a kid. And while I'm gone, you're the man of the house.
Yep.
You want to be the man of the house. You want Dad to trust you with being the protector and the man of the house while he's gone. You live for that moment when you're a kid.
When you're a boy.
Yeah, when you're a boy. Yeah. So super good moment. I like it. You know, this is like Bill being like, you know, like I'm stepdad, but you know what? You're my real kid. You're my real son. You are the man of the house.
Yeah.
I trust you. Which is a bad move.
It's a bad move.
It's a bad move with Smalls because you can't trust him apparently.
Yeah.
So we cut to a couple of days later after this scene.
Yeah.
After the boys have all kind of calmed down, they've gotten over being sick. And
they even said that. A couple days later, we all decided we're going to stick to bazooka
forever. Which,
yeah.
by the way, I love bazooka gum. The little, it's like hard as a rock.
Yeah,
but it had
the comic.
But it had the comic wrapped around it, which was amazing.
Yeah.
So bazooka was great. And so they're buying a baseball and they're going to go play baseball at the Sandlot.
Yeah.
And this is where something amazing happens.
Is it?
Yes. So they all go to the Sandlot and what is it? So Benny's the first one to bat.
Yep.
And he really cracks into one and busts the guts out of the baseball.
Yes.
So he rips the cover right off of it. Smalls catches the insides of the baseball, and the cover ends up on the ground in the infield.
Yep.
So a baseball, if you've never seen it, it's the leather cover that's stitched over it, and then inside is basically, there's like a little rubber core.
Yeah.
And it's got string wrapped around it to fill up the size of a baseball. That's how a baseball's made.
Yeah.
And everybody's like super impressed, except for Benny, who's like, well, it just means we can't fucking play.
Yeah.
Because like I just broke the ball. Mm-hmm. Now this is where the continuity thing bothers me. Benny, like I said, seems to be loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And Smalls is pretty loaded too. These are like middle class families.
Yeah.
They got cars. Benny's got fucking money to treat everybody to the fair. Weeks has money to buy like a $2 bag of tobacco.
A $2 bag.
Benny's got money to buy.
Smalls has those electronic toys.
Yeah, like $10 trillion worth of erector set.
Yeah.
And then Benny can buy PF flyers, which were in my generation, the PF flyers of the day were the Reebok pumps.
Okay.
That was the shoe, right? It was the new cool shoe you had to have.
They look like Chucks to me.
Yeah, they do. But yeah, so they're PF flyers. But in my day, it was the Reebok pumps.
Okay.
Because you pumped up the air in them, and it made them fit better, and they were guaranteed to make you run faster and jump higher. It's just
and they didn't.
And they didn't. Of course not. It was just a gimmick. But yeah, the PF flyers of his day was the Reebok pumps of my day, and so apparently nobody, the kids who have all this money, the two fucking brothers have a $20,000 fucking treehouse.
Yeah, it's a nice.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it doesn't look like it was made by someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's none of you can fucking afford 98 cents for a baseball.
Yeah.
But anyway, nobody can afford 98 cents for a baseball. So, which by the way, they end up buying a baseball later this afternoon anyway.
Didn't they collect bottles?
Yes. So they ended up buying a baseball later on this afternoon anyway.
Yep.
But Smalls is it's okay. I've got a ball at home. Cut to Smalls breaking into Bill's trophy room and swiping his Babe Ruth autographed ball. Smalls should be dead.
Yeah.
Lightning bolts should have smoked him dead at this moment.
Yep. He should have never gotten the ball off the stand.
Yeah, it should have been glued on. It should have been it locked in a case.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yes, he swipes Bill's Babe Ruth autographed baseball and brings it to play ball with.
Yep.
So Benny says, all right, your ball, you're ups. So Smalls is at bat.
Yep.
Swings and misses at strike one. And then catches the next pitch. And belts a home run into Mr. Myrtle's yard.
Yep.
Over the fence.
And
Benny's
with
cheering.
The beast.
Yeah, Benny's cheering. Smalls
forgot to run after base
gets
two.
To second. And just veers to the outfield oh, fuck, I'm in trouble.
Yep.
And you get him Smalls, you've got to turn to third base. And Smalls is freaking out, that's not my ball. We need to get that ball back. And they're what are you talking about? He's it's my stepfather's ball. They're well, who gave it to him? He's
some woman.
Some woman named who?
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth. And they're all Babe Ruth? And Smalls is yeah, who's this? Who is Babe Ruth?
Yeah, they all tried to climb the fence.
Oh my God. They all wanted to see it. They wanted to see the ball. And so they're so he has no idea who Babe Ruth is. So they're they go through the list of Babe Ruth's nicknames again.
The ones that they were doing.
The Colossus of Cloud, the Titan of Terror. And then finally Ham goes, the Great Bambino. And Smalls is wait. That's the same guy? Yeah. And then collapses to the ground, holding his
I'm gonna die.
Feel so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. You shouldn't feel good right now. Oh my God, yeah. So This
is where they compare Babe Ruth to Hercules.
Yeah. So Benny says, yeah, Babe Ruth, he was less than a god, but some say he was more than a man.
Like Hercules.
Which will come back to us as well.
Yeah.
And so we have to get the ball back. So in the short term, they buy another baseball. They go collect bottles and buy a baseball, which they should have just fucking done in the first place.
Yes.
But so they go buy a baseball, and Benny signs it Babe Ruth, and it looks like shit.
Yep.
But Scotty goes and puts it on the trophy case just as a placeholder until they can get the actual ball back.
Yep.
And his mom catches him in there. And
as he's letting it go.
Right,
so she thinks he's grabbing
She thinks he's trying to pick it up.
Yeah.
And so she tells him the story of the ball.
Yep.
So it was a gift to Bill from his
father.
And maybe someday
he'll pass it on to
he'll
you.
give it to you. It was signed by Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, who was the greatest baseball player in the history of history. To which Scotty thinks in his head, as a narrator,
a grown girl knows about Babe Ruth.
So Scotty is so emasculated that even his mother, a grown girl, knows who Babe Ruth is.
I find it hilarious that the women they do not find attractive are grown girls, but the women they are attractive to are women.
Right. So so for instance, Scotty's mom, who's in her 40s,
is a grown girl.
However, Wendy Peppercorn
is a woman.
17 or 18 is a woman. Real woman. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, I agree. That's
sexism
at its finest. It's the sexism of the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 10s, and whatever. Forever. Forever and ever and ever.
It's getting better, I think.
Is it? Really?
In some aspects.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, God. Yeah, so the fake ball's in place, and now we begin a montage. Now, every sports movie has to have montages. It's just, you got music and you got things happening. It can be training montages. It can be playing montages. Like earlier in this one, we had a batting montage and a sliding montage. Now we get a let's get the ball back montage.
Yeah, this is interesting.
This is hilarious. So, I mean, we're trying just with a stick, and then we're breaking out erector sets with a pot on it to try to scoop it. We're flying in over the fence with a bungee cord to try to grab it. We've got vacuum cleaners that are 3 of them hooked up to suction it through a fucking mask to pull it up. All of which are failing.
Yes, because the beast keeps destroying what they're doing. The vacuums blew up in Small's face.
It wasn't Smalls. It was
one of the brothers.
It was the older brother.
Yeah, and all I can think of is, where the hell are the parents?
Right. One of them lives right near here. One of them is literally Mr. Myrtle's neighbor.
There's gotta be one of them sitting there, one of their dads, sitting there drinking a beer, watching the boys out the window going, what the hell are these kids up to?
Well, yeah, because whoever, probably the brother's dad, is probably in his backyard. He's got a beer in one hand. He's got steaks on the grill.
Yep.
Either that or he's mowing the lawn.
And boys will be boys.
And boys will be boys, whatever. They're doing something. They're dressed, they got fucking army helmets on.
Yeah.
They build this.
There's all this dust coming out of the playhouse.
It explodes. There's a fireball inside of the fucking playhouse.
Treehouse.
Oh my god. Yeah. And then their last try is this giant erector set car.
Yeah.
That
their own little rover.
Their own little fucking opportunity rover with a fucking scoop catapult.
Yeah.
They drive up to the car and it's gonna work, right? So they're driving it up. Now you love what Squints is doing in all of these.
Yeah, he's got cereal boxes that are with the mirrors and it's I remember making these as a kid, and they fucking had one in tin cup.
Yes, this will make a comeback when we get the tin cup.
And I was we used to make these to look at the lunar eclipse when we were kids, and they're using them to spy on the neighbor's dog.
That's so funny.
And they're Wheaties boxes taped together with duct tape.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. There's got to be Wheaties boxes.
They are Wheaties boxes.
Yes, there's got to be Wheaties boxes. But so this rover, they get the ball there, and they scoop it up with the rover. Yep. And they go to fire it, and Benny's going to catch it when it comes back over the fence. But what happens?
They shoot, and The beast swallows it whole.
The beast blocks it. Just jumps up like a 9,000 foot tall beast.
Yeah.
Jumps up over the fence and eats the ball.
Well, he stayed on his side of the fence,
Right,
but
he's
he
over
arced,
the top of the fence before the ball can get over.
Yep. And
now they're toast. They got no more that's it.
Yeah.
There's no other way to get it. Smalls just succumbs to the fact that he's dead.
How many times does that one boy suggest just knocking on the... They suggest knocking on the door, but Squints keeps saying no, he
because
can't.
Mr. Myrtle's the meanest man who ever lived.
Yeah.
Which will, again, come back to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Smalls is just like, I'm dead. I'm a dead man.
Yeah.
So we cut to that night. Smalls has a dream.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out how to get it back.
But they don't have any ideas, so they all go home for the night. And Smalls has a dream of a giant baseball signed by Babe Ruth falling and pounding him into the ground.
Yes.
And then Benny has a dream of Babe Ruth.
Yeah. The ghost of Babe Ruth.
The ghost of Babe Ruth comes in and basically tells Benny, hey, man the fuck up, grow a pair, jump over that fence, become a legend, and get that ball back.
Yeah.
On his way out, he fucking takes a Henry Aaron, or Hank Aaron card, Hammer and Hank Aaron, who becomes a crazy famous baseball player.
Okay.
It was probably like a rookie card. So Benny just gave away like a card probably worth like $200,000 now.
To a ghost.
Like 150, 200 grand now. It's a fucking Hammer and Hank Aaron rookie card.
Yeah.
Like in mint condition in a case. Like that card could buy a house.
Yeah.
Benny just gives it away to a ghost. Whatever. It's all good.
He probably thought it was dreaming.
Right. So. But yeah. So on his way out, Babe Ruth tells Benny, are you a hero or are you a legend? Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. So Benny knows what he has to do.
Yeah.
Next morning, he's knocking on Smalls' window. Get to the Sandlot. We're going to get the ball back.
Yeah.
And this is where Benny busts out the PF Flyers. And he's gonna jump over the fence. He's going to grab that ball and jump back over. He's going to pickle the beast. Sets it up.
Pickle.
So Smalls is like, Benny, don't do it. Like, look, it's like, I'll die. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's better I die than you die. It's better Bill kills me than you die at the hands of the beast. But Benny won't hear it. Benny's going to do it. Benny doesn't take no for an answer, ever, for anything.
Nope.
So he straps on his new shoes, and he jumps down into the yard. And then we get the old fucking Wild West gunslinger showdown music starting, which is hilarious. Like
because out walks this mastiff, this slobbering mastiff. It's not a robotic dog this time. It's just a regular mastiff.
Big mastiff, though. It's a big bull mastiff.
Mastiffs are big.
Yeah.
And he drops the ball, and it rolls like right dead center between the two.
Halfway between the two. Like daring Benny, come and get it.
Yep.
So Benny,
he just wants to play.
He does just want to play, apparently. But anyway, so we get the close up of like Benny's like cracking his knuckles each line with his thumb.
He's digging his foot in.
Digs his foot. I love this because this is going to come back in our next movie, Best of the Best, where he's digging that back foot in to get better grip. That's going to come back to us in the next movie, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, so he's digging in to get a good start, and then he takes off. And he runs in, slides, grabs the ball, and jumps back over the fence.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's good. And I love how when Benny jumps, like he always jumps over the fence and like lands on his back. Like, just always. Like, when he
Which is weird, because we got a bottom view of him jumping. Like, you could see his legs spread out.
It's like when he jumped out of the treehouse, it was going to blow up. He jumped and, flipped over onto his back. He'll do it at the end of the scene as well. He'll jump onto his back as well.
Yeah, but when he jumped, like, he had his right foot forward, and he was going to land on his feet. But all of a sudden, he rolled onto his back. So, I don't know where the cat mechanics in that were to, like, not fall on your feet.
Right, yeah.
Because he would have landed just fine.
Absolutely, yeah. But... oh, it was so good. Yeah. And we're good. And then all of a sudden, we get close up at Benny. He goes, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And we get the dog jumping over the fence.
And taking off after
Benny. And Benny starts to run. The dog follows him, and then everybody follows them. And then we get...
another montage.
We get another montage, the running montage, the car chase montage. Mm-hmm. And we get Wipeout.
Yep.
Fantastic song. We get Wipeout. I love this song, too. The song is great. And so Benny and the dog are running. They're running through the streets. They jump over a car. They go flying.
Knock over a kid on a bike.
Yep, over the car.
Knock over all the trash cans in the alley.
Yep.
They go through a building, where people are in there watching a movie because it's too hot to be outside.
Right, and the dog jumps through the screen. Benny slides under it. The dog just jumps through the screen.
Disrupts everyone in there. They run back out of the building. Mind you, the dog had broken the window to get in the building.
Yep. And they go to the pool.
They go through the...
No, first they go to Founders Day.
Yep. They're running across the people's tables, and the people are sitting there eating.
At least Benny's being nice enough to try to like step between their food and drinks and not step on their stuff. The dog's just like knocking everything over.
Yeah, it's like Beethoven.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're doing that. Benny slides under the Founders Day cake, which is a 5...
No, Benny goes over.
That's
Benny
right. Benny went
the top.
over the cake, and the dog went under the cake. It's a 5-tier cake. And it almost made it without ruining the cake.
Now they get it set down.
Yep.
And after the other kids run around them, they get it set down on the table, and they're good. The 2 bakers are good.
Yep.
The cake is safe. Now you weren't impressed with this cake.
No, it looked like shit. Like it looked like it was a really bad decorating.
Okay, well, I mean it's a small town, I mean, and it's Founders Day.
Yeah, but somebody's got to be good at what they do.
Budget.
No, it was probably done by like just local people, but
right, that's what I'm saying.
Like. There's got to be at least one cake decorator in the area. But it looked like it was decorated by kids.
Okay. All right. I thought it looked pretty good. If we slow frame this, I mean, there's some nice little piping work with the red, white, and blue.
I think
sashes
the
and
red,
everything.
white, and blue looks sloppy. But
all right. Maybe we'll have to slow frame it. We'll have to take a look and see.
All right.
We'll have to see. All right. But yeah. But then a big, giant, fucking American man dressed up in the red, white, and blue, Uncle Sam, on stilts, gets knocked over.
Yeah,
falls
on
down
the
table.
other end of the table,
and
so the cake goes flying like a catapult.
And then it
lands on the two bakers who just saved the cake.
Oh, so sad.
Yep.
So you're okay because the cake was just ready to light the cake anyway. So it's all good. Cake's no problem now. Yeah. It's all fixed. And then we run through the pool, and we get the little girl in her mom's arm. Ooh!
Little boy, because he's in shorts and a hat.
Well, it could have been a little girl back then, too.
The little girls went topless?
Like that young? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
But either way, little kid who's like, ooh, a doggy.
Mommy, look at the doggy.
A big doggy.
Yeah.
And so Benny and the dog run through the pool, which Benny's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
But then they run into the other kids outside the pool.
And Benny's like, back to the Sandlot. I got an idea.
Yeah, so the other kids take a shortcut. So they beat Benny there.
Yeah.
And then Benny and the dog come running into the Sandlot. Benny jumps back over the fence into Mr. Myrtle's yard.
Yeah.
Now, my move would have been to go to the fucking treehouse. Dog can't climb a treehouse.
No.
So that would have been my
move. There's a ladder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but it's like a straight up ladder. The dog can't climb that. That's the spot to go.
Yeah.
But Benny, for some reason, jumps back over the fence into Mr. Myrtle's backyard.
Yep.
And then the dog comes and like plows through the fence.
Yep.
And as he gets through, the fence is knocked over and falls on him.
Poor puppy.
Oh, it looks like it's a fucking heavy fall, too.
Yeah.
Like, it comes down, it looks like 10,000 pounds have fallen.
And
like
all the dust flying everywhere, and
And then Smalls comes over and sees the dog hurt laying under the fence. So he's like, Smalls is trying to pick it up. He's asking the other kids, come help me, he's hurt. Benny, he's hurt. And Benny, who just had to run away from this killer dog, is like, fine. Comes and helps Smalls lift the fence off the dog.
Yeah.
And the dog gets up and he's good. And then we get the scary moment, right? So this dog is just sitting there staring at Smalls.
Yeah.
And Benny's got like a look like,
he's gonna bite your face off.
Fuck.
And he just gives Smalls a face of
big
kisses.
Slobbery kisses.
Yep. He goes, let's play.
Big slobbery kisses all over Smalls' face.
Yep.
And then
Smalls probably pissed himself.
Probably. But then Smalls and Benny go to the back door and knock for Mr. Myrtle.
Yeah, because now they've got the dog by
and there's
the
no
collar.
fence to keep him in.
Yeah.
So he comes out and he's blind, and it's blind James Earl Jones.
Yep.
And he says, "Who is it?" And he's like, "We brought back your dog because we had to." He's like, "You guys are the ones out here making all that racket?"
Yeah. Why didn't he come out and see what the racket was?
Because he's blind. Maybe he did, but he couldn't tell.
Right.
But so and. And then they're like, well, see, we lost our ball in your yard and we had to try to get it back. And Mr. Myrtle goes, why didn't you just come to the door and ask?
Yeah.
To which they all start beating up Squints.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too
Squints
funny.
deserved it, though.
Yeah. Oh, totally deserved it.
Yeah.
But so they go. So Mr. Myrtle takes the ball and he's like, "Why don't you two come in and we'll talk about this ball." So he knows something's up.
Yeah, he does mention the dog. He goes, "You have Hercules."
Yeah. Oh, and nobody's ever got the best old Hercules before.
Yeah.
So the dog's name is Hercules. Get it?
Yeah.
It's the same as Hercules, like Babe Ruth Hercules.
Yeah.
Yep. The dog is named Hercules. So are we meant to assume that maybe it was named after a George Herman Hercules Ruth, Babe Ruth?
It's quite possible because it turns out he was really good friends with Babe Ruth.
So we get inside and it turns out that so Mr. Myrtle asks Smalls, so you're really in trouble about this ball, aren't you? And Smalls is like, well, yeah, it was signed by Babe Ruth. And, like, it's destroyed now. And Mr. Myrtle's like, I was wrong. You're not in trouble. You're dead where you stand.
Yeah, he's got this big old grin on his
He's
face.
like, George signed this?
Yeah.
And they're like, Smalls showing off how smart he is now about things. He goes, George Herman Ruth? Yes, sir. So, of course, he's got to be the nerd about it. George Herman Ruth, yes. Yeah. But yeah, so, and Mr. Myrtle's like, oh, yeah, I was wrong. You're not in trouble. You're dead. You're fucking dead. Your dad's Babe Ruth baseball. Oh, shit. But he's willing to trade him the ruined Babe Ruth ball for...
I don't remember what he called it.
It's a 1927 New York Yankees autograph ball. Everybody on the team, Murderers Row. Murderers Row. So the Yankees lineup that year was called Murderers Row because it was one of the best hitting lineups in baseball history.
Yeah.
And so he trades him a 1927 Yankees ball signed by the whole team for the Babe Ruth ball that's all destroyed. And them Benny and Smalls being willing to come down and talk baseball with him once a week.
Yeah.
Because Benny or Smalls sees a picture on the wall of a younger Mr. Myrtle standing in a picture with Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
And so he knew Babe Ruth. He played with him. And it's so funny because he's like, did I know George? Yeah. He was almost as great a hitter as I was.
Yeah.
In fact, I would have broke his record, too, if I hadn't gone blind.
Yeah.
So he got hit in the head with a ball. Poof. I went the lights.
Now, did that really happen to anyone on Babe Ruth's team?
I don't think he was on Babe Ruth's team. I don't think that was the case because they were wearing different uniforms.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. I think he was. I think that from the looks of it, he might have been. I don't know about the timing. He could have been in the Negro Leagues, depending on when he was playing.
Right.
So he could have been in the Negro Leagues. It could be like a loosely based on Josh Gibson or something, who actually ended up hitting more home runs than Babe Ruth. That was mostly in the Negro Leagues type of thing. Who knows exactly? Could have been in the major leagues. Not exactly sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just funny. I was like, yeah, he was almost as good a hitter as I was, which was really funny. But yeah, so all is saved. Mm-hmm. Everybody's good. Smalls gives Bill the new baseball. Only gets grounded for a week instead of the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Which is too funny. And then tells us that from that point on, he never had any problems calling Bill just Dad.
Yep.
And we get a little scene of him and Bill playing catch, and Smalls throwing a pretty nasty little curveball.
Yeah.
And Bill shaking out his hand. Oh, I hurt my hand.
Yeah.
Showing that Smalls can now throw hard enough to hurt Dad's hand. You know?
Woohoo!
Yep, exactly. And then we get the where are they now?
Yeah.
What happened to the whole group from the Sandlot? So slowly but surely, they all moved away over time.
Yeah.
We learned that. Let's see. So Hercules.
Yeah.
Ended up living to be 199 in dog years.
So how many is that in human years?
I don't know. Whatever 199 divided by 7 is. I don't fucking know. 199 in dog years. Whatever. Yeah. That's still a long time. Squints married the woman that he sexually assaulted and had 9 kids with her.
Didn't they buy Vincent's?
And they bought Vincent's drugstore, which they still own to this day.
Yep.
Let's see. The two brothers, they started one became an architect, one became an engineer. They started a small little construction company by making prefabricated tree houses.
Yep.
And then they moved on and became millionaires by inventing the mini mall.
That seems like a bit of a far stretch, but that's
sure,
okay.
Why not? Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. So Bertram Weeks. So we got to talk about this kid. So this is the tall, nerdy kid.
Yep.
So he got too into the 60s and nobody ever heard from him again. However, if you look at this kid, he's literally the child version of Joker, Private Joker from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, he is.
So my headcanon is that he became Joker, became a Marine, and went to Vietnam and fought there.
Yep.
And then just when he got home, he didn't want to talk to anybody ever again. So my headcanon is that this kid became Private Joker. Because he looks, you look at him, he looks like a miniature young version of Private Joker.
Yes, he does.
Let's see, Ham moved on and became a pro wrestler called the Great Hambino, which was great. The Great Hambino.
That's a bit ridiculous, but okay.
Yeah, went to military school and then invented bungee jumping. Of course. De Nunez played AAA ball, never made the majors, and now coaches his son's Little League team.
Yep.
Benny was forever known as the Jet after that day. Benny the Jet Rodriguez. And then he went on to play Major League Baseball for the Dodgers.
Yep.
And Smalls ends up being a baseball radio announcer.
Yep.
So that brings us to the ending scene.
Yeah.
So this is where Smalls is calling the Dodgers game that we saw the beginning of them getting ready for at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
And so we're in like later innings now, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there. And the Dodgers bring in Benny to pinch run from third base. And Smalls says, some say that the Jets lost a step, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some fireworks here.
Right.
And so Benny takes off with the pitch and tries to steal home. And he's running and running and running, and Smalls is going insane up in the announcer's booth. Oh, they don't see him, the Jets stealing home. And then Benny slides in, just gets his hand in there, he's safe, he steals home.
Yep.
And Smalls goes nuts up in his fucking announcer's booth. He's like smacking high fives with everybody. And Benny looks up at him.
And gives him a thumbs up.
Smalls gives him a thumbs up. And then Benny gives him a thumbs up back. And then he gives him another bro nod. And then walks into the dugout.
Yep.
And that's where the movie ends.
Yep. Smalls, in his commentator station, he has the Babe Ruth ball.
Yep.
He has the Murder's Row ball. And then he has the fake Babe Ruth.
The fake Babe Ruth ball as well.
Yes.
Plus a picture of all the kids.
From the Sandlot.
And he's wearing that shitty fucking trout hat.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Still wearing that shitty fucking trout hat.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely ridiculous. All right. So, let's get a few questions hammered out.
All right.
About this movie, and then we'll close this up, because this is going to be a long episode. Holy
Ask me
shit.
anything you want.
All right.
How long is it?
2 hours and 21 minutes.
Okay.
So, let's start off with, who is your favorite character?
Benny.
Benny?
Benny.
You're a Benny fan.
Yep.
All right.
No, he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he doesn't take the other boy's shit.
I like Ham.
I'm not surprised.
Trash talking, loud.
I am not surprised you like Ham.
I like Ham. He's hilarious. Trash talking, loudmouth motherfucker. Love him. He's great. All right, so he's my favorite character. All right, what's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene would have to be where the vacuums blow up.
Okay.
When they're trying to
your Tommy's face. Yeah, okay.
When they're trying to get the ball back.
All right. My favorite scene is the first catch with Bill, where he's just got the what the fuck face on.
Yeah.
When he's like rolling the ball back and like running and placing it in his glove. Like, my favorite scene is the two people who make the what the fuck faces at Smalls, De Nunez and Bill, when he hands them the baseball.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just hilarious. Just too funny. I absolutely love it. All right. So we're going to rate each movie so they can be listed on our website with a rating.
Yep.
So we're going to go out of 5 stars.
Okay.
We will allow half stars.
Okay.
So you can give it anything. The lowest you can give it is a half a star. You can't give it a 0. You can't give any movie a 0.
Okay.
So you can do a half up to 5.
Okay.
So I want your rating of this movie first.
4 stars.
You're going to give this a 4?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so Alicia gives The Sandlot a 4. I'm also giving The Sandlot a 4.
Are you?
I am. I'm giving it a 4. So that gives us an average of a 4. Yeah. So this one averages out to a 4-star movie. Not bad for our first baseball movie on the show.
No.
We just started off with a 4-star. This is an incredibly popular movie. It's just like totally always in the pop culture lexicon.
Yeah.
Especially with the You're Killing Me Smalls.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that the 25th anniversary was last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just a fantastic, it's a fun movie. Would you recommend people watch it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll watch it again.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. You don't have, it's not too intense. You don't have to like get like deep into things. It's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
So, highly recommended. Check out The Sandlot if you love baseball movies, if you love 90s movies, if you just love a good kids movie or just a fun movie to watch on a weekend afternoon. This is a great one to bust out and watch.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. All right. Now, our next movie is a fighting movie.
Okay.
From 1989.
Okay.
Starring a pair of brothers. Fighting each other in the climactic battle. Starring Eric Roberts, who you know as Jackson Avery's father from Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
That's Eric Roberts.
Okay.
Also, the big bad guy in the first Expendables movie, Eric
Okay.
Roberts. So he's the main character. Also, making his second appearance back-to-back weeks on this podcast, James Earl Jones.
Yep.
So he's also in this. He's Coach Frank Kuzo.
He's not blind in this one.
Not blind in this one. And he's actually a former Taekwondo champion.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we're already starting off with the building up some royalty on our podcast. Sports movie royalty.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones. Because he's been in some great sports movies. So next week, we're going to be breaking down one of my all-time favorites, a movie that actually makes me tear up. Not quite cry, but tear up. 1989's Best of the Best. It's USA versus Korea in Taekwondo. It's amazing.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it. I've seen it a shit ton of times. There are 3 sequels that all went direct to DVD. None of those were sports movies.
None of them matter.
We're not going to cover them because they were just action movies. But this one was an actual sports movie. It was phenomenal. If you want to watch it before we break it down, I highly recommend you go out, check this one out. I think you can get it right on Amazon Prime for, I don't know, $2.99 or whatever they charge to rent a movie now.
Right.
And then just check out Best of the Best. It's USA, it's Korea, it's karate, and then we'll break it down next week.
Is it karate?
Well, it's a mix of karate, judo, and taekwondo.
Okay.
It's full contact, but
Okay.
it's a mix of karate. It's a mix of karate, judo, taekwondo.
All right.
Yep, good stuff, and kickboxing.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a good one. I think it's a good first fighting movie to get into. We're gonna get into more fighting movies later, like Bloodsport. We're gonna get into the Rockies. We're gonna get into the Creeds. We're gonna get into the Karate Kids. But this, I think, is a very underrated fighting movie from this time. A very underrated sports movie that doesn't get a lot of love, but I think is actually really good. It's a lot. There's great training montages in it, and you gotta love a training montage in a sports movie from the 80s or 90s. So we're gonna get into the best of the best
All right.
next week. Till then, we'll catch you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.